are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, the DC takeover is still happening, and you're seeing clear lines in the sand between those who want it to happen and those who don't. And it's interesting to see how those who don't want a takeover are trying to say it's to help those who actually do want it. Make it make sense. It doesn't, but we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, John Bolton got raided by the federales. Are they going to do anything? Is it a dog and pony show? What will come of this? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Trump got fined $527 million for the whole real estate fraud kerfuffle, which was a big nothing burger. And now that's being thrown out. Will he still pay some money? Are there still penalties against his companies? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Florida issued a statewide mandate that says no, none of the LGBT crosswalks are going to exist, okay? Now, the LGBTs are upset because the one that's over there by Pulse Nightclub where they had that shooting, that got erased. But my question is, are we going to just give the LGBTs a monument? Like, how does that really work? Are we going to include them as part of society, or are they a different people? How do you want to be treated the same, but at the same time want to be treated differently than everybody else? If it's going to be a monument, why is it got about... Hold on. If it's going to be about a monument, why... If it's going to be about those who died, why must it be a monument to the LGBT specifically? That's all I'm asking. But we'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. I had to get that last piece in there because the LGBTs talk about, oh, treat us the same, treat us equally, we're just the same as you. But then sometimes they want special treatment, okay? Sometimes they want special treatment. And I see kind of how that works. It's like, okay, y'all want to be equal when you want to be equal. Y'all want to be equal when it comes to doing things you shouldn't be doing, like getting married, okay? Once they let that happen, once they let gay marriage happen, it was all downhill from there because there's nothing keeping society cohesive. When you don't have marriage, when that is messed up, you got a lot of other problems that are going to happen in society, and you'll see it manifest in a very short period of time, a generation, 2 generations, not that long. We see what's happening right now, birth rate in a toilet, okay? Now, I'm not trying to blame the LGBT, but I think that is a sign of it. Once you see gay marriage and adopting kids as a gay couple, once you see that start to happen, it's a sign of things to come. Now, if you gay and you adopted kids and they're doing well, okay, good on you. Get on you. But y'all know I'm not lying. Y'all know when that begins to happen, it's the beginning of the end. This is how empires fall apart. Rome was the same way. It ain't nothing new under the sun. It's just a different day, different clothing, different people, technology, but it's all the same kind of thing that's going on. So yeah, LGBT, I understand that you want your monument, you want your memorial or whatever at Pulse Nightclub because of the shooting, but is it about people that died or is it about the fact that they're gay? I mean, which one is it? Are you guys a different people? It's like, okay, you got black, white, gay. Is that how that goes? I'm just trying to understand where we're coming from here. Are you guys a different people or are you the same as us? And if you're the same as us, then why must it be special things for y'all? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Are we Americans or are we divided? That's my whole issue. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Help me out. That helped me out tremendously. We got a whole lot going on. DC takeover. There's so much coming from that. There's so much coming from that because you're seeing people. It's so obvious what's going on. It's crazy because I'm still getting people hit me up from the Jubilee, the whole Jubilee thing. And matter of fact, I think I'm going to show a video from a guy because he was asking about us. I'll play that first to kind of just get it out the way. This is not Jubilee. This is just a guy responding to my videos or to all of us asking, oh, what do you get out of being a black conservative? Why would you want to be a black conservative? Before we even show it, I'm saying, how could you not be conservative if you're an adult with a brain? How could you not be a conservative if you're adult? If you are an adult with a brain, how could you not be? I don't really get it, but we get into that a lot deeper once we head to it. But I just want everybody to wake up, to see what's going on, to see reality for what it is. If you're an adult, especially if you're a child, if you're like under 18 or something like this, I give you a pass. I give you a pass, and because you're a child, you don't know anything. But if you're a fully grown adult, you got kids and you out here working the job, you have to understand that the things the liberals want, they don't work. And they never have worked. All they do is just make things worse every single time. The more reliance on the government, the more dependence on the government, the more non-productive people you get. I'm showing videos that are going viral about this whole EBT thing. That seems to be a really big thing. And you know why it's so big? I underestimated how big it was. The issue with EBT and food stamp benefits, welfare, whatever it is that people, millions of them in this country, are dependent on those programs. Without those programs, they just wouldn't have anything to do. Well, I take that back. Without those programs, they would feel helpless for a time, but they get back on their feet. You're an able-bodied adult, an able-bodied human, and you don't want to go to work because you got the welfare benefits. Well, what if you didn't have the welfare benefits? What if you didn't have it? Listen, my grandfather was a coal miner. Do you want to go 4 miles under a mountain and mine coal? How about, do you want to go to the salt mine? Do you want to go to the chemical plant and work? Do you want to do that? I mean, these are the jobs that people have done, whether it be black or white or whatever. It'd be a black guy and a white guy up under the mountain. And when that thing collapsed 4 miles on top of you, you trapped like everybody else. It don't matter what color you are at that point. But too many people, I put out a separate video talking about my guys that have been to the penitentiary. I know guys that have done prison time. I'm talking about not just you go to jail overnight or you go to jail for a few days. I'm talking about at least 5 years. I know a guy that did 15 years straight in the penitentiary, came home, started a business, plumbing, and made 6 figures immediately. 15 years in the penitentiary, come home. I'm talking about violent offenders, all of that. Drugs, guns, everything. Come home, start a business, making 6 figures in this country. Meanwhile, some of my friends who have been to college are just kind of chilling, not doing much of anything, not really applying themselves the way that the guys who have been to the penitentiary for a long time apply themselves. So shout out to everybody that works for a living. Okay, it don't matter how much money you make. If you work for a living, you take care of yourself, shout out to you. If you're able-bodied and you refuse to work because you're getting welfare benefits, I don't care what color you are. You could be black, white, Puerto Rican, the candy stripe. Your time will come to an end. Thank God for the orange man, for President Trump being in there, for cutting a lot of the waste, fraud, and abuse from these programs. People need help in this country that are genuinely disabled, elderly. Okay, somebody 85 years old and in a wheelchair, of course, let's try to take care of them if we can. But you 25 years old and you just sitting in your hind parts, eating all day, getting fat. And you know what? The welfare state is subsidizing obesity because we give them all kind of monies with no restriction and let them buy whatever they want when it comes to food. Then they're getting all this food they eat in excess without working. So if you're just sitting on your hind parts all day, eating like a whole dumpster, right? You're just dumping the food in your mouth, Of course, you're going to be 400 pounds within 1 year of doing that. Of course, you're going to be fat for a long time. Of course, you're going to be sick by the time you get to be 35, 36, something like this. And you're going to be taking up resources from people in the hospital when you could have just taken a little bit better care of yourself. How are you 800 pounds at 29 years old? You understand? That kind of stuff right there must come to an end. So I'm glad that Trump is in office to cancel all of that extra ridiculous activity. I am through. I am done with people abusing the system, because the thing is, the more they abuse the system, the less productive they are and the more sick they are, which is going to cost me and you and not a taxpayer are going to pay for their inactivity, their illnesses, all that was it was totally avoidable. They could have just had some self-discipline and avoided all that activity. But now we got to pay for it. The people that are doing right, that are not 1,000 pounds at 19 years old, those ones that are doing right get penalized. When it comes to your finances, same thing. Taxes raising up. But yet, some of them potholes right there, and hey, can we get them potholes filled up though? Can we get a little bit of an even layer on that? Can we not have a steel plate on every 2 seconds in certain parts of Atlanta? Can we do that? You see what I'm saying? Other parts of the country as well, big crazy potholes, but the taxes going through the roof. All because some of us in this country don't want to do what's right to take care of themselves, and they make us do it. So yeah, I am totally good on that. Shaquille Oatmeal, you're trolling as usual, talking about just let them do whatever they want to do with the EBT. How about not? How about if it's our taxpayer money? You know what? How about this? You know what? That goes both ways. I have a proposal to those who are totally against the EBT being cut. Here's a compromise. Okay, you guys can get what you want to get on EBT, but we can decide what percentage of our income that we contribute to the system. How about that? How about that? If I don't want to pay you to get fat, I don't pay no taxes. It should be a voluntary system. Hey, Cash App, Zelle, whatever. Hold your QR code. I give you some money if I want to. How about that? It's like a food bank. If I want to contribute to the food bank, I can do so. I can go to the grocery store, buy some items, throw that in the food bank. Boom, there you go. How about we just do it that way? Adopt a crack smoker. All right, I'll give you whatever I want to, rather than the government just saying, hey, here's a robbery, no pistol, bare face, give me 25% of your income. How are you going to spend it? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about how you're going to spend your money, okay? Yes, we took it from you. Yes, you are a citizen. Yes, you are privy to what you give us, but don't worry about how we spend it. We're going to send a lot of that over to foreign countries. We're going to make your neighbor gain about 300 more pounds a year, and we're going to pay for the medical system that they're going to have to be part of when they be sick at 42 years old. How about that? That would be my solution. Whatever y'all think, let me know in the comments below. No junk food on EBT. That's right. That's right. And I don't eat no salad. Salad, that's like the ultimate normie meal. Hey, you know what? I'm going to be healthy today. I'm going to get a salad. I'm going to get a green vegetable. No, just don't eat so much. Y'all be eating 3 meals a day. Y'all eat them Chipotle bowls in the middle of the daytime and then have something big in the morning. And also dinner after that. It's like, what are you doing all day that requires that many calories? Okay, you sit at a desk all day typing. Why do you need that many calories? I mean, you're not out here playing football or basketball. You're not doing no physically intensive activity. Why do you need so many calories? All you're going to do is just pack on in your back. Your back will get exponentially bigger. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Mike, I talk fast. That's the whole point, though, because it's good because y'all listen to videos on 3x speed. As like, you know what? Rather than you turning on the 3x speed button, I'll just talk in 3x speed. So problem solved. You'll be get straight to the point in a very short period of time. And there's no adjustments, no filtering. Easy breezy, 1, 2, 3. How about that? Not your ordinary dad says, I eat once a day. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. D-Dub says 2 meals a day. Now, my question would be, D-Dubs and Aaron, I see Aaron, how many calories are we eating? Okay. And also, how many calories are you drinking? I know a lot of y'all Starbucks superstars be in there immediately. And y'all aggressive, driving, cut people off to get to the Starbucks line in the morning. I see y'all in the morning at Starbucks, dope fiend stuff. But anyway, that Mocha Coca Doka Latte, Venti, that thing about 15 foot high. Okay, how many calories in that? How much sugar, fat, salt, caffeine in that right there? That'd be my question. Humongous Shift says, the more carbs you consume, the more your body wants. Hey, man, it is what it is. Monique says, can we get a legit what I eat in the day short? I got you, Monique. I got you. I'm going to do that. I probably would go to, I'm going to go to the store tomorrow and get some stuff. And I might film when I'm in there. And if not, I'm going to just, in my kitchen, I'm going to show you what I eat. I'm going to show you what I eat for sure. I mean, all I really eat usually most of the day, my normal day, like today, okay, I'll tell you what I ate today. Today I had my regular salmon and rice. I had, how much was this? Maybe about half pound, maybe about 3/4 pound of salmon, a filet, wild caught salmon. I had a 1/4 cup of brown rice dry with a 1/2 cup of water. Okay, and I had a Hass avocado, not a big one, but a Hass avocado. I had some the caprese tomatoes, you know what I'm talking about. Them little kind of like sweet tomatoes. Had about 3 of those, cut that up, cut the avocado up, threw that in the bowl. Boom, I'm good. And aside from that, I had some trail mix. That's it. That's all I need. Now, if I was to go, you know what I'm saying, like be outside for a long time, if I'm playing basketball or something crazy like that for some reason at my age, you know, some kind of like, if I'm exercising a lot and I'm burning a lot of calories, I might eat a little bit more. But normally that's what I eat every day. Yeah. And of course, the good old coconut water and just regular water. Yep. Also, I have like orange juice, Florida orange juice, cranberry juice, and I got some of that Milo's sweet tea, but it has no sugar. So that's pretty much what I do. All right. And I'm telling you, if you eat that every day, you're going to see yourself not only keep your weight under control, but the food you eat also determines how your muscles actually look, how you physically look. You can achieve more. You can make your body look different just based on what you eat without even exercising. Exercise as well, of course. Do cardiovascular activity to burn fat, especially, and keep your heart healthy, which you need right now. But they got this thing running around, this scamdemic, talking about if you don't want to get a shot, your grandma gonna die. Well, grandma is 100 years old. I mean, what's gonna happen? What are we talking about exactly? I don't understand. I don't really get it. Okay, Robert says I'm a bit back 230, 160 when I'm in the Army. Yeah, because you in the Army, it's discipline, it's yes, sir, and all this. But once you at the house, you chilling. You got your beer, you got your pizza, and you living life. Okay, that's what that is. Somebody said I sound white. Me sounding white? I've heard so many things from that whole Jubilee thing, and we're going to get to the show in a minute, so y'all bear with me. I've heard so many things. They tried to call me a tether. They tried to call me an immigrant. It's like an immigrant. Me? Immigrant? I was the first guy here. I don't understand. It's so weird. I think people just call you anything. People just call you stuff because they don't like what you say. With no basis, the thing they call you has no basis in reality, like Uncle Tom. That has nothing to do with a negative thing. He was the hero in the movie. But because you don't know how to read, you don't read, you just hear things on the internet, you just repeat it. Rather than saying the N-word, which is what you really want to do, just go, hey, you know what? At this point, in 2025, let's not use no more code words, okay? Don't call me Uncle Tom or a coon or a sellout. Just call me the N-word of the good old days. Go back to the good old days, just like Cracker Barrel, okay? Listen, when I go to Cracker Barrel, I'm going to talk about it. Yes, I will talk about that. But when I go to Cracker Barrel, I want the old aesthetic. I want Mama's house. The new thing they got, I think, is just a sign of the demographic changing. A lot of these hipsters going to gentrified locations. Okay, let's go to Cracker Barrel. They want that type of energy in there. They want the refresh. Old school guys like me and you want the old school. We want the porch, a hint of racism, a little bit of racism. Like you think that it could be. It's probably not, but it might be a little bit. You want that at Cracker Barrel, okay? That's what you want. But yeah, shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. That's something else. Hold on. Jack Black says, wild caught salmon, money, avocado money, can afford the ABL. Y'all, you guys are lying though. You guys tell me lies every day because y'all get Uber Eats all the time. Y'all get pizza all the time. Y'all, listen, y'all go to Walmart first of all, don't tell me that Americans can't afford food. That's one thing we can most certainly afford, because if we can't afford food, then how are we 1,000 pounds? How do you get to be 1,000 pounds if you can't afford food? Have you ever seen My 1,000 Pound Life? They be serving the fat person entire waitress trays full of food multiple times a day. That much food right there would last me for a week. Don't you understand what I'm saying? That much food they put on that tray for the first feeding of the day for this 1,200 pound person is enough for me to eat for the entire day. So here's just a light bulb moment. Let's just spend a tinge less. Let's just buy a tinge less food, a little bit, 30% less food. If you buy 30% less food and you get more high quality food, you'll end up paying the same as you were paying before. Hear me out. If you purchase 30% less of the garbage processed food, I got to get my thought together. If you purchase 30% less food overall, the actual quantity, the pounds, the calories, 30% less in that, and what you purchase instead is high quality food, your actual dollar you spend will be the same as when you spent 30% more on the bad food. You see what I'm saying? Does it make any sense? So yes, if you purchase the equivalent amount of healthy food as a bad food, it'll cost more. But if you buy less food overall with the healthy food, it'll cost the same. So I don't want to hear this whole thing about you can't really afford food, but that's what that is. Hold on. I'm gonna read some of the comments and then I'm gonna keep moving because I don't want to keep talking too much in the beginning. Hold on. Observer says, when I go to La Costa Mexican, I get chile, rellenos, tamales, rice, and beans, and I can get on that for 2 days for $20. Otherwise, I cook at home. Exactly. See, you know how to really do it, right? You know how to do it. How to get enough food to last you for a certain period of time without breaking the bank. You know how to do it. And I think a lot of us don't have that skill. And we most certainly, we got to get it. We got to get that skill back for sure. All right. Hi says, no, don't. Not here. It's $6 for 2 apples here. It is 3 box snack cakes, 15 for 5. But okay, snack cakes, what are you eating? You might as well eat a pile of dirt. And apples, why would you just buy apples? That's like a candy. You want to buy protein, carbohydrates. You don't need an apple. That's like buying a cherry soda. What you need are your protein and your carbohydrates. As long as you got that, you straight. But anyway, I don't want to talk you to death in the beginning. Shout out to you guys for watching. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Shout out to you guys, of course, for being the first sponsor, but also shout out to the other sponsors of the show. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or go to patriotpost.us. Tell them that ABL sent you. Go to ablmerch.com. We got the hats, the t-shirts, the stickers, the hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. For each long form video that I produce, I write an article, and in each article, we got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, political, agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want, I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my snail mail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you're conversing with me on the interwebs or not, you're probably not, especially if it's about some type of scam, some type of scam. Bitcoin, I can give you $1 million if you send me $200. Please don't get scammed in 2025. I keep seeing stories every single day, people getting scammed. There was one dude who sold his house. Listen, this dude sold his house, his car, all of that, went to the airport in Atlanta, I believe, and it was all a scam. And these kind of things happen all the time. So please, please, please don't get scammed. Nobody got no time for that. No one has time for that. This ain't the time to fall for no scams. Okay. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. Cracker Barrel right quick. I didn't do a video on it because it's not really a big topic, but I did want to discuss it just because just in the beginning right quick. So we saw the rebrand, right? We saw the rebrand. Now, first of all, what do y'all think about the rebrand? Okay, like, what's your opinion? So you see this right here. Hold on. Let me put it up. You see the logo, the O one at the top with the cracker and the barrel. And I didn't even realize that the logo, the color behind it, that's a shape of a peanut. So it made sense because Cracker Barrel, if you guys have not been, or at least back when I would go to Cracker Barrel, they would give you them peanuts, them old school peanuts. You could just open them and leave them on the floor. I think that was Cracker Barrel. It was a spot where you could go and open the peanuts and leave the shells on the ground. Yeah, so that was kind of like the whole thing, like the Old South type of vibe. And the new logo was right there. Now, I already know what's going on. I was a graphic designer before, so I know what this is. This is just them trying to cater to their current fan base, to their current audience of those who actually go to Cracker Barrel. When's the last time you've been to Cracker Barrel? For me, it's been years because the food is not good, really. It's all right. I mean, it's kind of like you go there just for the experience, just for the ambiance, okay? I'm not really going for the best pancakes I never had in my life. They're okay, all right? I could go back there and cook better than the cooks at Cracker Barrel all day long. The food they cook, I grew up cooking that. It's nothing to me. So going there, it's like TV dinner at best as far as the quality of the food. But the ambiance, the rocking chairs, the gift shop, the waitresses, if you got like country waitresses that kind of look like Dolly Parton, that's the best. Hey, sugar, what you want now, hun? Oh, boy, hey, get you one of them Dolly Parton looking white women that's like about 65 years old as your waitress. You be in heaven. Man, that'd be the best waitress you ever had in your life. That's why I go to Cracker Barrel, but let's hear from her.
All about evolution with intentionality. We've been very transparent about our goal of making our stores feel brighter and even more welcoming than they already are, while maintaining that country hospitality and charm that we're known for. We're just looking at ways to freshen up the experience so that we can open our door a bit wider for more guests. And when we think about what we're trying to do.
And this is the rebrand behind her. She's in a Cracker Barrel right now. You see the paneling. You got some seasonings and whatnot on the wall. So that's part of the rebrand as well. They kind of, you know what I think is happening? I think they kind of losing a little bit to First Watch because First Watch is like a new version of Cracker Barrel a little teeny bit.
It really is, again, about listening to what the guests ask for and examples of what the guests ask for are things like spaces that feel brighter, that feel less cluttered, more booth seating, more seating options, so our guests are more comfortable while they're dining with us.
They don't really want the true experience because Cracker Barrel is known for them uncomfortable wooden seats, them wooden chairs with no cushion. But I like that. That's kind of how it is at your grandma's house. The uncomfortable chairs, it's too small. It's kind of not really right, but it feels like it's home.
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and once every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
So that's probably Cracker Barrel's asking to get remodeled because the truth is that a lot of us have gone there, but we've not gone there in a long time. It's kind of like Red Lobster. Red Lobster at one point was the place to be. But have you been there recently? They're still around. So they got to do things to try and compete and get the newer generation who is not really familiar with them.
Really? So because the feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a wonderful restaurant. So we're doing everything for our guests and our team members.
There we go. So that's kind of what it is. Like, I mean, we'll see. My thing is, I want to see what the food sitting on. If the food is the same, I'm good. I could cook better than Cracker Barrel all day long. And if the food is just the same and the ambiance ain't there, it's like I'll just stay at the house. Now, this is this New York City? I think it is New York City. See, this right here is probably the kind of clientele that will now be at the Cracker Barrel. All right, a little bit of boot scooting in Brooklyn, Brooklyn somewhere. Anyway.
Why the hell do I work so hard? I can't worry about my problems. I can't take them when I come.
All right, there we go. So, a little bit of boot scooting, a little bit of what they call that? What's that game? I forgot the name of that game. You know what I'm talking about. What they're playing right there. But yeah, there we go. All right, so are y'all going to Cracker Barrel? Put your cowboy hat on with your Beyonce fan. Put your Beyonce fan. Do a little bit of boot scooting. Is that what we're doing? All right. And we got another logo. This is the Kind brand. You guys may have seen them with the Kind bars and whatnot. So here is a logo reveal. I did kind of spoil it, but whatever. Check it out. Thank you, Cornhole. That's the name of the game, Cornhole. Thank you. Yeah, Electric Eye, you funny.
2, 1.
There, look at that logo. I mean, there's an old one right there, and then there go the new one. Okay, a fantastic rebrand, fantastic. Okay, let's just scoot the Kind up a little bit, put it in the center of the colors, and have the colors go all the way to the bleed, and then we're good to go. All righty. Hey man, if I was a graphic designer right now, it's so many opportunities available in this economy. Oh my goodness. If I was a designer now in 2025, pardon me, I'd be killing it. If I was a graphic designer at this time right now, I'd be killing it. If I was a landscaper guy, I'd be tearing it to pieces right now. Okay, now let's get to Winsome Earl Sears. All right, did you guys see that sign? Okay, did you guys see the sign? Hey, Winsome, if trans can't share your bathroom, then blacks can't share my water fountain. I mean, listen, y'all know me. I'm a Virginia guy. This is in Arlington. This is in Northern Virginia. Let's just give a little bit of context, okay? Just a little bit of history. Y'all know that's like one of my strong suits. Okay, the so-called Confederate flag, the Confederate battle flag, that was originally, and if I'm wrong, correct me, that was originally the battle flag of Northern Virginia specifically, like this area. This is the epicenter of the Confederacy right here. So this woman, it's like, okay, they have some of those same old ideas. They still think about us from way back when you had slavery and Jim Crow. They're still thinking in that frame of mind. And a lot of black people are still in that frame of mind of, okay, you're not free. You can't do anything. We've been free for a long time in my neck of the woods. My people, we've been free for a long time. So it's like, we don't see ourselves that way. And when they see us like that, it just lets me know they don't know anything. They're ignorant. They're stuck in the past. And ultimately, they're racist. The Americans I know, and no matter what color they are, good people are not on this from way back 100 years ago. Just not on it. It's over with. You can't control us. You can't make us do whatever you want us to do. It's done. We're done. So whenever they do stuff like that, all it does is just expose them. And hold on, before I get to Winsome Earl Sears, let me just show. I think there was. So I don't know if it was her husband, her brother, or friend, a community member, but somebody was like, "Hey, Barb, your sign is getting some negative attention on the internets right now." She don't care. My sign is negative. People don't like it. So what? I mean, there was a point in time where my man right here would have had checked her before she left the house with that sign. It's like, come on, Susan, you can't come out there with that sign. But now you got feminism, women's liberation. I do whatever I want to do. Yeah, I'm racist. So what? Ruining everything. If they would have had that talk before they left the house, they would have been okay. They would have been just fine. All right. So this is, again, Winsome Earl Sears, who is a current lieutenant governor of Virginia and is running to become the governor of Virginia. Now, y'all know the governor now is Glenn Youngkin. But like I said in my video, in Virginia, you can only run, you can't run back-to-back gubernatorial campaigns. You could be the governor for one term at a time, not consecutively. You could be the governor and then skip a term and then run again and win and become the governor again, but that's rare.
Good evening. My name is Winsome Earl Sears. I'm a Marine. I am a mother. I'm a grandmother. I'm an immigrant to this great country. It was my job growing up in Jamaica to dust the picture of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I also served as vice president on the Virginia State Board of Education.
Let's pause before we go any further, because I see some talk about her being Jamaican. Oh, she's not really a Black American. That's not really important. You see, in the case of Kamala Harris, it was important because she's talking about I'm black, black, black. Meanwhile, she's not black at all. Her mom is straight from the Indian subcontinent, red dye Indian. Her dad, at best, is biracial, but probably not black at all either. At best, you about 10, 15% black. That's not black. Okay, if a black person is 85% African DNA, do you call them white? No, you don't. So she is actually a black person who is an immigrant, which is fine. I have nothing against immigrants, but don't say that you are something when you're not that. She came out and said, okay, I grew up in Jamaica. I'm an immigrant. You're being honest about who you are. And we can start right there. If Kamala wants to run as a biracial or Indian or something like that, okay, just say that rather than lying. But I digress.
I have sat where you are sitting, and let me tell you, what is happening in our schools right now is just wrong. It's dangerous, it's insane, and it has to stop. Here's the truth. There are two sexes, boys and girls, and for generations we've understood this, that they deserve their own sports teams, their own locker rooms, their own bathrooms. That's not discrimination, it is common sense. But here in Arlington, the trust between parents and schools is being broken. When girls lose their privacy, when boys are punished for speaking plain truth, when parents are silenced for simply asking questions, that's not education, that's indoctrination.
So is what she's saying right here making sense, or is it just me? Hey, you know what? Let's not have boys go into girls' spaces, private spaces, locker rooms, bathrooms. Why would anybody want that to happen? Why would anybody say that's okay for that to be going on for children? I mean, even adults. Who says it's okay to do that? We have never, as humans, in recent memory at least, not in the USA, allow that kind of thing to go on. You see, a lot of the LGBTQ, elemental P, X, Y, and Z, they'll say it's about inclusion, and I'm really a woman. I'm gonna go to the bathroom on my choice. But you're not, though. You're not. Like, you can think you are, you can feel like you're a woman, you can feel like whatever you want to feel like. Your feelings do not determine policy. They don't determine fact. Facts determine policy. Or that's the way it should be, at least. That is the way it should be.
Hey.
Okay, and here is, here she is on Fox News.
Winsome, if trans can't share your bathroom, then blacks can't share my water fountain. Abigail Spanberger said she finds it abhorrent, racist, and full stop, totally inappropriate and horrible. But what do you take away from this?
Abigail Spanberger wants boys and girls nude in the same bathroom. She also wants them in the same locker room. And this is what we're not going to do. I am going to deliver for Virginians. I stand with parents. Absent Abby, my friends, refuses to take a stand.
Hey,
There we go. So again, this is Winsome Earl Sears, the current lieutenant governor of Virginia, currently running for governor of Virginia, because again, the governor cannot be governor back to back. And the current guy in there is Republican Glenn Youngkin. He cannot run. He can run again after the next person, but he cannot run right now. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. So my man right here, this gentleman says we need to get Mr. Barack Obama back. Okay. Are we still waiting on Obama to come back? Listen, Obama not coming through that door. Slick Willie not coming through that door. Reagan not coming through that door. None of these men of the past are coming through that door. You got to move forward. Ain't no Obama, ain't no Big Mike, ain't no Malia or Sasha or nothing. The Obamas are done politically. But we still got some guys holding out hope. Some guys holding out hope that one day, the chosen one will come back. I don't think so.
President Barack Obama, it's a 911 emergency. We need your help. America is in a mess right now because of Donald Trump. Donald Trump has fucked up the economy. Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck about the people. He is a divider. You are a uniter. We need you. We need you badly to help save America. I just would never have believed in a million years that things would be this bad. I mean, so many people are traumatized. So many people are ready just to give up and throw in the towel. I myself am traumatized. I'm fighting to keep my sanity. I'm fighting to not go into psychosis. This is insane how Donald Trump has brainwashed people. What's even worse is they've allowed themselves to be brainwashed by him. It is bullshit. He doesn't give a fuck about these people. He doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself.
Okay, first of all, there's a lot going on. The first Trump presidency, I loved it. It was transformative in many ways. It was amazing, great policies. And now it's more of the same that we got in 2016. You want Obama to come back, but when Obama was in office, 2008, from 08 to 12, it was a lot of stuff going on. I was doing pretty well during that time because I was in the streets, so to speak, doing all legal activities, of course. But a lot of guys I know lost their whole shirt. I know guys that went bankrupt, guys that had legitimate brick and mortar businesses. They had been running for 20 years, went bankrupt. The real estate market was a mess. I mean, Obama was just a very charismatic person, someone that people liked, but his policies were not good. They were not good. It is what it is. Okay. People do a good job of trying to elevate him to a high place, but in my humble opinion, he was not good. And you know why? Because this is the deep state uniparty type things that he was pushing. And in 2016, there was a revote against all that. There was a revote. They thought on the Democratic side of the aisle, they could pretty much put anybody in there and it'd be a continuation of Barack Obama. They tried Hillary and she got stumped out. They thought Trump had no chance, but the people were sick of Obamonomics and they wanted to go a different direction, enter Trump. And when we did that, we appreciated it. We liked what we got, which is why y'all were able to take it, win, whatever you want to call it, in 2020. And we got him right back in office in 2024. That's almost unheard of for a guy to be the president for one term, not get elected again consecutively, but then come back. That's almost unheard of because the people realize who was better than who. That's all. Look, it's not about trying to be in the cult. It's not about trying to be brainwashed because a lot of swing states, and the thing about a swing state is that it can go either way. They're going to look at who's in contention and make an educated decision. Okay, I think I like what he has. I like that policy. I like that policy. There's more thought that goes into it rather than just saying, I'm in the cult. I love the Donald. It ain't like that. It ain't like that at all. Now, this video is interesting to those who say, oh, it's hard to get a job, ABL. I can't get off food stamps. I know I'm 25 years old and able-bodied, but I can't work. I got 2 kids. Okay. I got this. I got that. I got this excuse. I got a bad back. I got a club foot. I got a hangnail on my toenail. I can't go to work. Okay. This woman, you're going to see her appearance and she'll speak about what jobs are like right now. And her conclusion may surprise you. Let's check it out.
Your grumpy boomer parents lied to you. I look like this, and I have been offered every job I've ever had an interview for, except for one, and that was a special circumstance for the company. But really, no one in the real world, and I'm not going to speak in absolutes because there are obviously curmudgeons out there, but in general, no one in the real world cares what you look like as far as jobs, as long as you're qualified and pleasant, like you're enjoyable to talk to. That's the big thing. But no, every job I have had an interview for, I have been offered, except for that one. They don't care what I look like. You're grumpy.
So there we go. Look, the reason why I showed that is to prove, at least anecdotally, that this whole thing about, oh, I can't get a job because of this, I can't get a job because of that. She got the big crazy septum piercing, that the nose, you got tattoos all on your face, random stuff all on your body, right? But it doesn't matter because she's still able to go out there and get jobs. She's still able to go out there and make a living. So if she can do it with all that stuff going on, then what's the excuse for the average person? She's just like everybody else, but with a little bit more. Now, what she was referring to was the whole boomer parents thing. Oh, well, they told you don't have that on your face because you're not going to be able to get a job. Well, things are a little bit different nowadays. It's a lot more lax. They need some of their employees to be in there. So they'll take you with your face tattoos and your jail record or whatever. As long as you can do the job and do it well and you're not a pain to work with, you'll be okay. You'll be totally fine. But again, I don't suggest doing all that to your face. I wouldn't do it. Hey, if y'all see me come on the stream with a septum ring, call the cops. They didn't got me. If you see me on the internet with a septum piercing, call the police. Be like, hey, man, ABL said call the police if you see him with a septum ring. So I'm just, doing what he told me to do. Yeah, go over there, man. Find them, please. And make sure that the ring gets out immediately. Yeah, call the cops. But if I had that still, I could get employment if I needed it.
Nobody.
Okay. Now we have another young lady with a nose ring, but hers is a little bit different. Just this little hoop, just one little hoop on the side. That's okay. But that right there, it's a little bit different. But she's talking about how the white liberal woman has ruined everything. Check it out.
Nobody ruins shit like woke white women. What? Nope.
I'm sorry for the cussing. I apologize for the cussing. Let's start from the top, though.
Nobody ruins shit like woke white women. What? Nobody asked for this rebrand of Cracker Barrel. She took the cracker and the barrel out of the whole damn thing. Put the millennial liberal beige in it. Like, what do you mean? I want to go in there and sit in a room as if my mama just smoked a pack of Marlboro Reds and is making a joke that probably she should not be making. Do you see what I'm saying? Why do they touch things? Only Sydney Sweeney can save this rebranding at this point. Nobody.
All right, there we go. So you know what? I think she's right about that, but also maybe like I said earlier, maybe indicates Cracker Barrel is more of us than it is. It's more of them than it is of us. They want the kind of beige and neutrals and whatnot. Okay, so yeah, shout out to her. Can I show that right quick? Just the inside, and then I'm gonna keep moving. Yeah, the redesign. Okay, hold on. It looks just like First Watch, really. If you guys have not been to First Watch, it kind of reminds me of that. I know First Watch been around for a long time, but this reminds me of is Old Country when they had to start to do different things because Golden Corral was whooping them up. Okay, so yeah, that's how it looks now in Cracker Barrel. That's part of the rebrand right there. It reminds me of First Watch. That has that same kind of vibe. And I understand why they did this because they have to compete with them. That's all that it is. It's just competition. You got less of you have less of the old timers like me who appreciate the old aesthetic and more new people that want the more, First Watchy type of feel. Now, some of those who eat at the new spot, who want the First Watch kind of feel, may be the ones who have some solutions for crime in a place like Burlington, Vermont. Let's see what this person says as far as what the solution could be.
What do you think the solution is to the high crime rates in Burlington? What would be a solution to stop this?
Socialism. Yeah, it's socialism. It's, crime. Police are a reaction to what happens. Like, if more planes are crashing, you're not going to give people more parachutes. Like, the solution is to stop the planes from crashing, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people's lives crash because their needs aren't being met. They don't have access to food and housing. They don't have access to mental health care. They don't have access to jobs that pay them a living wage here. Like, Burlington, Vermont in particular, like, the cost of living here is so astronomically high and the wages are so low. More and more people are just falling like below that waterline and just suffering immensely, and they end up out in the streets, and it's devastating. Police are never going to be the solution to that. It's going to be meeting the people's needs and providing them with a better opportunity.
What do you think?
Okay, so what you want to do is just fleece the rich and give that to the so-called poor. But what needs to happen is you need more industry in Burlington, Vermont, because here's my question. What do y'all do in Burlington? What's the industry? What's the hot thing to come out of Burlington? What are y'all fishing? Do y'all have minerals? Do you have any tech up there? Like, what do you actually want? Socialism is not going to solve it. All you're going to do is just run the rich folks off or try to stop them from escaping, okay, and take their money and end up still with no money. End up still with people who are hungry because there's no food. Now, you might kind of get bailed out a little bit because you're a state and you might get the help from the feds, but ultimately your strategy doesn't work. Your Zoran Mamdani, all these people with the socialism idea, it's always a thing among young people, especially. They always think they can do it better than the previous people. And the ones before them thought the same thing, and so on and so on and so on. And it could work for a while, a little while, but not long. Before long, it'll be a wrap. It'll be over with. So what do y'all think? A Bernie bro, exactly. A Bernie bro. And here's my question about Bernie Sanders. Okay, he's like always talking about this kind of thing. Has it ever actually been done? Has he ever been able to actually implement that? And Bernie been around since the 1960s or even before then. Bernie been around for longer than Joe Biden. Joe Biden was around right when the Civil Rights Act got signed. Right around that same time, Joe Biden was around in Delaware in politics. And Bernie was before him, getting thrown out of rallies and stuff like this. But his policy, his dream of socialism, communism, whatever you want to call it, has he ever actually implemented that? Has he done it? Hold on. Eugene said Chaz Chop. Well, there you go. There you go. That's Chaz Chop was one. All we had was some dead teenagers. Okay. Oh, here's an article. So back to Kansas City again, because that's kind of like a case study for socialism, I guess. Maybe they're doing experiments out there. First, it was that store they had that they put $29 million into from taxpayer money, and it still failed because nobody was going there except for the steal. And then as a result of all the stealing, the shrinkage, as you would call it, they had pretty much nothing in there. And what they did have in there was processed food. It was stinking. It was a mess. Can I say something right quick? The whole food desert thing. If you're still trying to walk, listen, you can get food delivered to your house. Delivered to your house. And there's Walmarts everywhere. A food desert, you can't go 5 minutes away. You can't, y'all do Uber Eats for 100 pizzas. Okay, you'll eat 100 pizzas in one night from Uber Eats, and that's fine. But to get groceries from Uber Eats, oh, it's a food desert, man. I don't understand. You don't got to have no car. Just Uber Eat, Instacart, whatever y'all do. I never used those apps. Because I don't want nobody to be smoking crack part-time, and then when they're not smoking crack, they're going to ferry my food around. I don't want my food to have a hint of crack smoke on it. That's not what I want with my situation, okay? I'm not trying to have crack smoke envelop my avocados and tomatoes. Am I fresh wild caught? You out of your mind. You're out of your mind. The dope fiend might open up my trail mix, put his fingers in there, put his mouth on it. I don't got no time for that. So I don't use those services. But if you're immobile and you can't get around, go ahead and use it. It's right there. Ain't no food desert. But anyway, So Zoran says Kansas City ends. Well, the New York Post says Kansas City ends free bus experiment over budget woes. 0 for 2 for Mom Donnie's socialist proposals. So the first thing was a grocery store, $29 million, that failed. They spent $50 million for the free buses, and that failed. How many more how many more millions must we spend before we realize that these things don't work? And not millions. How many more billions, trillions must we spend to realize that socialism, it doesn't work? You got to have productivity. If you don't have productivity, you have no economy. So, Burlington, Vermont, what's your productivity like? What do y'all do up there? Is it like service-based jobs? Is there any industry? What's the thing that Burlington is known for when you're talking about their industry? I'm ignorant, so I don't know everything about that, but I'm just asking. Okay, I am just asking. M-Dub says, when Walmart started same-day delivery, I was done with going in person unless I needed to. It's 15 miles away and worth delivery and tip. There you go. Exactly, M-Dub. Exactly. You could just go on your app, deliver it, pay a little extra money, get them a tip, and you could just do that from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to go that distance. You don't got to deal with them people. Get them to do it, and then you're done. It's easy. It is totally easy. Now, this woman says, where are the celebrities protesting against Trump? Where are they at? Because, at one point, it was a bunch of celebrities talking about, Orange Man bad. All the movie stars. Remember they came out and did like a commercial together? It was so corny. The corniest thing in the world. Hold on. I got to find that commercial if you guys hadn't seen it. That was the craziest thing. Okay. I got to find that. Oh, yeah. Here. Hold on. Nah, never mind. I ain't going to be able to find it. I might, but in the meantime, let's hear from her. Why don't we have celebrities protesting Trump like they did in the past?
Right. Well, I'm not going to take too much of your time this morning here, okay? Because I just have one quick question I'd like to pose, which is not rhetorical. Where the fuck are the movie stars right now? Would you mind telling me? Where the fuck is George Clooney, who's married to a civil rights lawyer? Where's Brad Pitt? Where's Denzel? Where's Julianne Moore? Meryl Streep. I mean, I know where Meryl Streep is. She's reenacting the fucking Met Gala for The Devil Wears Prada. Why have we heard nothing? Not a single word from any of these people. I mean, surely it's not because they're afraid of endangering their livelihoods. I mean, thanks to us, they have millions and millions. They have enough money in real estate to live for generations. So yeah, that's my question. And why isn't anybody else asking it? Talk to you later. Bye.
All right. So what do y'all think? Why are celebrities not really talking about Trump too much? Like, what's going on? Because at one point, I mean, that was their main thing. Now, maybe I'm not really in the loop. Maybe I'm not listening to celebrities because I don't watch movies, TV, too much, anything too much. Not a whole lot. So maybe they are, but I've not seen them. At one point, you had Robert De Niro. You had all these people talking about Trump, but no more. Okay, USA closed down. Hey, that might be it right there. Hey, ain't no more money. Ain't no more money in it. USA, because listen, a lot of these celebrities, people think that these celebrities are rich. Not for real. I mean, just because you're a celebrity, that don't mean you're rich. A lot of celebrities are kind of struggling because they might have had a good movie about 10 years ago, but that money has long since dried up. So now what are you doing? Okay, how about I be an anti-Trump hater and I'm going to get money from this organization in the federal government. But since I got cracked down, now in the morning, there's no more cash to be able to get. So why not? Exactly. Y'all saying the same thing. They're not getting paid no more. So I think we got the answer. The reason why ain't no more celebrities talking about Trump is because there's no more money in it. They'll do whatever for some money. Speaking about Denzel, didn't he just for the first time at age 70 kiss a man in a movie? Didn't he just do that? Now, my question was, why would Denzel Washington, world famous actor, one of the best, critically acclaimed, award winning, why would he wait till 70 years old to kiss a man in his mouth for the very first time. And the scene got cut from the movie, so it was no point in doing it. I think it's because he's got his biggest payday right now for the new Gladiator, like 20-something million. It's like, okay, Denzel, we'll give you $25 million if you kiss a man right there in the mouth. Kiss him in the mouth, and we're not going to release it, but we do have the footage, and you guys say you did it on camera. You cool with that? All right, cool. 25 million. There you go. So that's why, rather than talking about Orange Man bad, you got to kiss a man in the mouth to get your money in 2025. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Oh, y'all ain't know about that? Hold on. I got an article. Ain't no video for y'all freaky people out there. Ain't no video, but hold on. But yeah, he did do that. All right, hold on.
Reporting live from Hyper Clubhouse in Atlanta for Hype Plus News. Revealed Gladiator. It's Gladiator, the kiss of death.
All right, this ain't what I wanted, but y'all can just, you know what I mean? I ain't trying to waste too much of your time. But if you like what you're hearing so far, hold on, there you go. This is what I wanted.
25 years later, this movie makes a big return. You are a part of it. Why did you want to do it?
Because he asked me. I mean, you know, it's Ridley Scott, it's Gladiator. Because he asked me, simple as that. And a good script, very good script.
Yeah. We see you do things in this movie we haven't seen you do in a little bit. Like, you're wonderful in everything that you do. You're wonderful in everything that you do.
Thank you.
When they talk about Oscar buzz, at this point in your career, how do you process that?
Oscar buzz, I wonder why. Maybe because you kiss a man in the movie, they give you an Oscar for it.
Let's let it happen first. Well, the buzz is nice, you know, but, you know.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want to say what I was going to say. It had to do with buzz.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm looking forward to seeing you on Broadway. I love seeing you return to the stage, playing Othello in a role that you played when you were 22 at Fordham University.
That's correct. I think I know the part a little bit better now, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to rehearsal.
You love being on stage.
I love it. Yes.
That's where I feel like it's really the work is born.
That's the actor's medium. You know, film is a director's medium. Stage is an actor's medium.
Big headline about a certain scene, a kiss that was omitted from the movie. Why do you think they did that?
It wasn't even a big deal, really. I mean, I that's about what it was. You know, and I kissed him on the hands.
There it is right there. So you heard it. It wasn't a big deal. Hey, I got a wife right here. I'm not gay, for real. Matter of fact, here, I kissed her. See, I'm not Hollywood people, man. So yeah, shout out to Denzel. But yeah, the scene's not in the movie. They cut that out. Anyway, let's keep on going.
Hi.
Speaking about movies, this person could most certainly be an extra. Okay. And I feel like at a certain point, sometimes I show these videos, I'm like, are we dealing with like regular people, these actors? I don't really know what's going on. Okay. But this person says, hey, you know what? You MAGA guys, you're in the cult, and it's never too late to come on back to our side. All right. What do y'all want to do? Y'all want to go on this person's side, or you want to be on our side on the right? Let's watch.
Hi, MAGA friend. I hope you're doing okay today. Just a quick reminder of something I know you know in your heart. Your news sources are lying to you, and MAGA is a cult. You are welcome to rejoin the rest of us in the real world anytime you want to come back. Be well. Hi, MAGA.
Okay, there's a lot here. First of all, I will agree with this person, and y'all know, at this point, man, 2025, I don't know what's going on with these genders. Okay, you're looking like Miss Doubtfire in this hotel room or whatever you at. I don't know what's happening here, boss, but I'm gonna agree with you on one thing. The news sources are lying to you. Oh yeah, hey boss, whatever you got going on, boom, fist bump. I agree with you on that. The news sources are lying, but a cult? What cult? I'm just living my life, enjoying it, living the American dream, eating the good food. I'm not really a cult. I don't understand. If there's a cult, I think maybe, listen, if one of us is in the cult, I don't think it's me. I don't think it's me. But you, on the other hand, there might be some signs. I'm just saying, there may be some signs. So shout out to him. or whatever the gender is. I don't want to assume your gender, but I'm not going to say they. I was reading an article and the person was non-binary and it said they want to do more acting. I'm like, is this Penn and Teller? Like, what is going on? Do we have a team, a duo, a tag team? It's like Kane and Ultimate Warrior or something like this, or Undertaker. It's confusing. English is hard enough, but then you just make up new ways to refer to people that are grammatically incorrect. It's very confusing. Okay, Pulse Nightclub. Now, remember, Pulse Nightclub is where the mass shooter, what did he kill, like 50 people or something like this? Hold on. It was crazy. So, hold on. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. This was in 2016. 49 killed and 58 other people were injured. So it was a really devastating mass shooting at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida, back in 2016. Okay. And Pulse is a gay club. And the guy, they said that he was kind of like in the closet, kind of unsure, whatever it is. Now, what they did in Florida was they painted over all the LGBTQ LMNOP crosswalks, and the gay community says that's an erasure of them out here, and it kind of like disrupts the memorial for Pulse. So let's just watch some of this.
Hey everyone, it's Representative Ana Villascamani, and I'm here right now at the Pulse Rainbow Crosswalk that FDOT thought was appropriate to sneak into our community in the middle of the night and to totally erase. I think it's so important to remember that FDOT decided, that Governor DeSantis decided, out of all the crosswalks to eliminate, to do this one, which is right outside Pulse Nightclub, where 49 mostly LGBT plus people were murdered in 2016. This crosswalk was never about politics for us. It was about love, safety. It was about creating a spark of joy for folks who come by. It's about finding power in pain. They're the ones who made it political today. And they're the ones who decided it was appropriate to erase an entire community here in Orlando. We're not going to let it stand. We're going to do everything we can to restore this crosswalk, but to also fight back against the extremism coming out of both the state of Florida and the White House.
Okay, what do y'all think? Do you think that this was a good thing to do, bad thing to do? Erasing the community, I don't know about that. It's like y'all still there. And it kind of go back to what I was saying earlier. Are you guys in the community, in the LGBT, are you guys the same as all other Americans, or are you different? I'm just trying to figure it out, because a lot of times I see the LGBT say we want certain things for us. Okay, well, what are y'all for real? I don't really understand. At the end of the day, I think there's other ways to go about memorializing what happened. The crosswalks, I hate it. I'm not a fan of the crosswalks, the LGBT stuff. It's not my cup of tea. But what do y'all think? Good thing, bad thing? Let me know. Okay, a plaque. Exactly. See, as Punisher, put up a plaque. Right. Yeah, you don't got to have this whole big crosswalk. Put up a plaque, memorializing what happened. That's totally fine. A crosswalk, I don't want that. A plaque, I'm cool with that. That could be a good compromise, because you want to memorialize those who died, because it was a really big incident. 49 dead, 58 injured. But the crosswalk, no. Now, speaking about crosswalks and being outside and all this kind of stuff, Gavin Newsom. Now, Gavin has been around for a very long time. This is him in 2008 in politics, promising to end or somehow alleviate the homeless problem to my California residents out there and to everybody else who understands California. Has he achieved his goal as of yet? I don't think so, but let's watch.
What we call a 10-year plan to end chronic homelessness in San Francisco.
How are you going to solve homelessness? What are you going to do as a new mayor? And I say, well, what are you going to do?
Focus on a housing first model, direct access to housing, shelter, salt, sleep, housing with wraparound and support services, solve homelessness. Homelessness absolutely can be solved.
Laid out a detailed homeless strategy. There's been no intentionality on homelessness in this state for decades. It's not been a focus.
I don't think we can solve homelessness. I know we can solve homelessness. We will reduce street homelessness quickly and humanely through emergency action.
The highest investment the state's ever made is $1 billion on homelessness. We are poised to pass a budget in the next few hours that will provide $12 billion of investment. I can literally quantify 58,000 people that we got off the streets last year, and none of you would believe it.
This state has not made progress in the last 2 decades as it relates to homelessness. Why?
We're not interested in funding failure. We're not interested in failing more efficiently when it comes to the issue of homelessness and the crisis on the street.
All right, there we go. So, California residents, how has Gavin done on the issue of homelessness back during the San Fran days as the mayor and now during the governor? Listen, throwing money at it ain't going to fix it. All it's going to do is just enrich the NGOs who get that money and do whatever they want to do. Enabling the problem with money does not fix it. You got to get tough on crime. You must get tough on crime because that's really the bottom line. Also, don't tax your residents to death because that's part of it as well. It's expensive in California. You got the drugs running rampant, the crime running rampant, and just really high taxes. You make everything expensive in California. That's going to increase your homelessness. You'll never solve it with these people in office. It'll never, ever, ever get fixed. Really, it just continue to get worse because you just keep putting money on it and you're not doing things to fix those who are not on drugs, who are just going through a hard time and cannot afford to live without being homeless. And really the people who are just normies and homeless, that ain't the problem. The problem is the drug abusers. That's the actual problem with the crime on the streets. So when you got these DC white liberals talking about, oh, don't harass these homeless people, what they don't understand is that these people that they are so-called harassing, really just enforcing the law on, these are going to be a lot of your violent, dangerous criminals. That's who they actually are targeting, not just a person who's on the streets. It's a certain kind of person on the streets. Everybody not the same. Just because you outside doing something don't mean you're going to be a threat to anybody. Okay. Now, here is a California resident. Hold on. We got a California resident talking about what's going on. A Los Angeles resident talking about what's really going on in the streets and how it is a good thing that Trump is doing what he's doing. Okay. And you're going to see a common denominator between those who say that Trump is doing good for the most part and those who say that Trump is not doing good when you're talking about homelessness. Let's check it out.
I'm sorry, but like if you have an issue with them cleaning up the homelessness, like I don't know what to tell you. Because like you're part of the problem. Maybe you should go live with them because like I'm sick of going outside of my house every single day and being met with the most depraved, like disgusting things I've ever seen in my entire life. On a daily basis. I mean, just the other day, or not the other day, I don't know when, but like back when kids were in school, I'm leaving my house to go to work and what do I see? A homeless man sprawled out on the middle of the sidewalk. His butt is out. He has no shirt on, and kids have to see that on their way to school. I'm sick of it. Like I'm sorry. I'm sick of it. And like y'all, your boy Gavin Newsom, like this is his fault. He's been governor for God knows how long, and he hasn't done anything. And it took Trump to get into the White House to do something about it. And now they're finally moving things. But it's like human crap. The amount of human feces I see is ridiculous. I'm sorry, but like if you have an issue with them cleaning up the homelessness, like I don't know what to tell you because like you're part of the problem. Maybe you should.
Exactly. Right on. So shout out to her. That was very, very well said. It's common sense. It's like, look, the homeless in LA, it's a big problem. Not just LA, San Francisco, all over the whole state of California, but definitely LA, San Fran, it's out of control. Nothing is being done. So when Trump wants to bring National Guard to like DC or to LA or somewhere to try and make things better, why would anyone be against it? The residents are like, look, somebody got to do something. Gavin Newsom ain't doing nothing. So please, somebody do something. Send a National Guard. Send more this, send more that. Just make sure that we get these crazy drug addicted people off of the streets. defecating on the ground. They butt naked in front of old ladies and little kids. Don't nobody got no time for that. So shout out to her for keeping it all the way real. Shout out to her. 100%. I mean, I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't live out there. I could not do it at all. All righty. Now, here is Gavin talking to Jasmine Crockett. And, you know, people talking about this whole race thing. Oh, black people, they like Gavin. No, they don't. Jasmine Crockett will pretty much say anything. She wants to be an influencer, basically. But let's watch this.
So now you have someone who believes in this type of philosophy, who now has control of our National Guard. And so, you know, the idea that we thought January 6th was a problem and we thought, oh man, that's bad. And, you know, his army then was a bunch of white nationalist races, whether we're talking about the Proud Boys or the neo-Nazis or whomever. Those guys were the ones that made up his army on that day to try to pull a coup. Now you're talking about a guy that every time he disagrees with something, he uses the power that he has because no one around him is checking him, whether we're talking about those in his administration or whether we're talking about the courts or if we're talking about the Congress. That is one of the reasons he is so desperate to make sure that he can win in the midterms, is because he knows that Democrats, it's not even about partisanship. It's about doing what's right. It's about doing the American thing. And to be clear, you can wave all the flags you want to, but I am telling you right now that the most unpatriotic people that we have in this country are MAGA and this president. We are the real patriots, and it is time for us to take our flag back and show people what America is about. You can't say that you love the Constitution while decimating it with every single stroke of a pen for an executive order, while decimating it, while you are disrespecting our troops that have signed up to protect our freedoms, not just here, but abroad. And then you're taking people's freedoms away using those exact same troops.
All right, there we go. There's a lot going on here. First of all, you're talking about troops taking freedom away. Well, the troops are in these cities to liberate people, to free them from the grip of crime and violence constantly, 24/7. That's what they're there for. How are you going to say that the so-called MAGAs, the Republicans, conservatives, how are you going to say that we are not patriotic? We are most certainly patriotic. How is it patriotic for Democrats to leave the southern border wide open, to just allow us to get invaded for 4 years and longer than that? Invaded. I'm talking about people who have lost their lives, jobs, livelihoods, everything because of that. There's been so many anti-American things that the government has done when liberals are in office. The list is endless. And one of the biggest things right now they're trying to do is get in the way of law and order. Why would anyone be against law and order? If there's a problem with the community, they say, hey, can you please bring the National Guard because we're having crime and violence happen? And then the president says, okay, cool, we got it. Boom. Why would anybody be against that? The people are asking for it. But I guess some people are more important than others. Ain't that right, Jasmine? Anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. David Sachs, whoever that is, you might know who it is, talking about the Democrats have to confront why they lost. All right. And they need to. I mean, they don't have to. They don't have to confront why they lost. They don't have to deal with it. They could just, keep on going like normal. But if they would like to succeed in the future, they need to understand why they lost. But if they don't really want to do anything, they don't keep on losing, then don't. Keep doing what you've been doing if you want to keep getting what you got, which is losses. Let me get some sound right there and start from the top.
To the point of giving away free stuff doesn't work, it actually does. It does get people out to vote. People were very motivated when they heard those proposals by Trump. I'm saying they should just take that proposal and 10x it. That's the way to win. I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm not saying I'm endorsing it. I'm just giving you the playbook.
Okay, well, what I would do to fight your playbook of empty promises is I would actually talk about the record of the candidate.
Exactly.
And I think we're talking about a state like California, which is thoroughly blue and has been run by Democrats now for a long time. And Gavin probably will be the nominee because I do think that his performative antics are working with the base. I mean, they want an
Totally
anti-Trump.
working.
But the way to attack this is to talk about the record here. So let's just go through some of the numbers. So as we all know, we pay the highest taxes in the country for the worst public services. Gavin's spending turned a $75 billion surplus into a $20 billion deficit in just a couple of years. And somehow none of that money went to fill the reservoirs or fire hydrants. And so we had entire neighborhoods burned down as a result, and they can't get permits to rebuild. California has the fourth largest economy in the world, so that's good. But we have the highest rates of poverty, homelessness, inequality, illiteracy, and wage stagnation. So yes, wage stagnation, JCal, is the highest in the country. And we have the third highest unemployment among the 50 states. We're second only to Hawaii in housing costs. So you want to talk about making promises to lower housing costs. But if you look at blue states like California, they're among the worst. We're the worst in energy costs. And we have the highest rate of both retail crime and frivolous lawsuits. And that,
I mean, there are so many things wrong with California. Now, I'm not trying to be the number one California hater, the biggest anti-California guy on the internet. I'm not trying to do that, but the facts are the facts. It's a lot of good with California, but it's a lot of bad as well. And what it boils down to is the leadership. Gavin, a moron, a bad manager. White guys got to be a good manager if you're going to be a good leader. That's the whole point. That's the whole thing that you're good at. And Gavin is not good at that. Trump is good at that. There's a lot of guys that's good at that. Gavin is not. Gavin is a Nepo baby at best. Nancy Pelosi's nephew, just like Kamala Harris, a sugar baby who became a senator and then the attorney general. That's what happened. You have unqualified, idiotic people in there. I don't know what it is. Is it affluenza? You've done so well in your life, you don't understand how to really function properly with a brain once you get to a certain level. These ridiculous policies they had, closing the state down, but you're not closed down. You're not wearing your mask at French Laundry with other healthcare professionals. That was the craziest thing. Listen, healthcare professionals during this pandemic having dinner at Gavin at his restaurant, sitting right next to each other, no masks, no distancing, no nothing. But your state is on lockdown, which further puts y'all into a financial crisis. It was ridiculous. The guy's a moron. That's why they are losing, because the people realize how dumb they are, especially since we had 4 years of Joe Biden. If you had forgotten what it was like under Barack Obama, if you were not alive during Obama, okay, get about 4 years of that in your system and see how you like it. Okay, let's go back to Trump. Exactly. So until they do with their own policies, their policies and the way they are coming off to people, the way they're condescending, if they don't deal with that, they keep on losing. But look, I'm not trying to be their consultant and get them to winning, because if they heeded my advice, they would succeed. But I'm not trying to be their consultant because I don't want them to win anymore. Not in the least bit. Okay. Affluenza, that's probably what it was. Affluenza. You're so affluent, you don't understand how to really function properly. That's kind of what's going on. Mike S says, those leaving cities, don't come to the mountains, stay far away. Hey, that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. Have a little enclave where you guys go and just enjoy that. Unless you're going to be a conservative and really just, blend in where you are. I know if I go to a certain place and they have a culture that already exists, I need to adapt to that culture. If I'm going to be out and about, doing things, I need to adapt to that culture at least a little bit. If not, then why would I go there? All right. So this is going to be Jory talking about MSNBC getting not canceled, but changing to MS Now, but also losing a lot of the anchors from back in the day. All right. She says that a lot of people miss her on television. And I think she's telling the truth when she says that. However, I want to add a little bit more to what she's saying. Let's check it out.
You have to remember, MSNBC was not just a channel for a lot of people. It was a lifeline in a world in which every other network was either on the one hand, on the other hand, or right wing. MSNBC was like a respite for people. People believed that every single person on MSNBC was their personal friend. We were their friend in their head. We were the good liberal friend who they could talk with. We were a diverse, interesting crew. We had all kinds of people. We had gay folks, straight folks, men, women, blacks, Latinos, Asians, very few of the Asian, the small, there are not that many Asian Americans that even get these opportunities. We had like multiple Asian Americans. We had all these different people. So we were relatable, right? We were like Sesame Street to people. So when you come up to me are by and large white Americans who come up to me and go, we miss you so much on MSNBC. We miss you so much. Oh my God, your voice is so missed. And then the black people who come up to me and go, I will never watch MSNBC again. We're done. Like the blacks are like, we're not watching no more. The white liberals are like, we're so sad.
Oh, we're so sorry. That's that, what's the name? When they had the illegal aliens, Martha's Vineyard. Oh, I'm sorry to see you go. All right. whatever you say, Susan. But nah, I mean, look, I'm sure she's telling the truth about that. But see, that's the problem. People are watching y'all like it's Sesame Street. You got adults watching fantasy. You have adults watching fantasy. That's kind of what it is. And I used to watch them back in the day when I was real young, like in my early 20s. But as I got older and got wiser, I couldn't stomach it anymore. I'm like, how could an adult human being watch this like it's regular every day, MSNBC? I don't really understand how you could just watch it every day. It was soft. It was kind of just crying about things that didn't really make a difference. I don't know. If you want to be an underperformer in your life, watch MSNBC. That'll get you right to where you want to be. Yeah, get you right on your couch. You can sit there and be a couch potato. When you're eating your first feeding of the day on the waitress tray, you got 10,000 calories for your first meal of the day. You sit down and watch MSNBC while you're scarfing that down with a whole big Diet Coke, okay? That's what you're going to do. Not Diet Coke, I'm tripping. A Mountain Dew. A Mountain Dew, 3 liters straight to the face as you eat your first feeding of the day, watching MSNBC. That's kind of what's going on with that. So I hope that they try to do a rebrand with the MS Now and get better content on there. Get better people, better anchors. Even if you're going to do leftist content, make it be better content. If you guys were successful at what you were doing and not just having a very niche audience who liked the racial makeup, allegedly, if you had better content, then you guys would still be on the air. All that really matters is, do people want to watch you? Are they watching? Do you bring in the ratings? That's all it's about. Colbert, same thing. Yeah, the show got canceled because ain't nobody watching it. And if it made sense to pay you $50 million a year, we would, but it doesn't. Let's cancel the whole thing. It doesn't make any more sense. Now, here's Trump talking about the MSNBC rebranding to MSNOW. If you guys have seen that.
Then you turn to CNN, which is fake news and nobody watches it, or MSDNC, they changed, MSNBC. They changed their name now because they were so bad. But they're the worst, owned by Comcast, run by a guy named Brian Roberts, who doesn't have a clue. He's terrible manager. But they're not, I don't think, selling it. They're changing the name because they're ashamed of it, and they're disassociating it from NBC, which is also fake news. They should be ashamed of that too. But a lot of fake news. I think the news is getting better. They're learning that they have no credibility. ABC, CBS was just sold to a great person that I know very well, a great man. He actually just bought CBS, and I think he's going to do the right thing with it. NBC is run terribly by Comcast. I call it Comcast because it's a whole con. Then you turn.
All right, there you go. So shout out to Comcast. And if you guys didn't see it, here is the new logo, the new rebrand. So you have MSNBC. That's what it was at first. And they want to remove the NBC from it. They want to remove all this altogether because I didn't tore it to pieces. I didn't say MS13DNC. Okay. All of that, all the names that you could put along with MSDNC. But now we have MSNOW. And I'm sure there would be another acronym created to fit the NOW. So it's totally fine. But what do y'all think about the rebrand? Is it look good? I prefer the old MSNBC logo. It's classic. It's timeless. The peacock from NBC, very recognizable, timeless logo. This one right here looks like uninspired, not very creative. What is that? A flag? The DC flag? What do y'all think? Which one is better, the original or the new one? For me, it's the OG all day. But some of y'all might like the new one as well. All right, let's keep on going here. Where are we at? If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, now look. DC, we got more people talking about DC and how they appreciate what's going on. They appreciate the federal takeover. They like that Trump came in and said, okay, no more of the crime, no more of the violence. Let's get it under control. Why would anybody be against that?
You know, I'm happy for the residents of DC because for the first time in fucking ever, there's not really any overt crime happening in DC. For the first time, there's not a bunch of murders. For the first time, there's not a bunch of gang violence. For the first time in many, many fucking decades, these people can actually go outside and they don't have to climb over homeless people. They don't have to hold their kids' hand and tell them to step around the shit and piss that the homeless leave on the fucking side of the road. That there aren't a bunch of people outside in the middle of the street drinking with their 40s and shit like that. That there aren't a bunch of shell casings little kids have to walk over. Yes, finally, the ordinary residents of DC, the ordinary, people like you and me, our community, can actually get a fucking break. These children can actually go outside. They're not going to get shot. They're not going to end up dead or on t-shirts. For the first time, their parents can take their hand and walk them to the park and not have to explicitly worry about them being shot up on the fucking block. Yes, I'm happy that DC is being taken over. I'm happy the FBI, I'm happy the people of DC get a chance to breathe. They get a chance to go outside. These kids get a chance to walk to the fucking park without dying.
There you go. That is what I'm talking about right there. Shout out to her. I'm sorry for the cussing China today. People cannot talk without cussing, so I apologize. But what she said right there was right on point. Listen, DC has been a dangerous place for a long time. I said it before. Dead cops, deceased children. That's what DC had been for a very long time. But now we got the federal takeover. That stuff is not happening. Why would anybody be against it? This is what a lot of cities need. I wouldn't be against it in a lot of these dangerous crime-ridden areas. Now, people are thinking that black folks are just being randomly harassed. It's not like that. You see, the guard and everybody, they know where the crime is coming from. But now they have the green light to target the crime, not regular everyday people. Because listen, let's just show some of this, right? Okay. From what I understand, I think it's not legal to be a street vendor in DC. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, maybe they don't enforce it or whatever. But they're not uncommon. Guys that sell water and stuff like this, they're all over the place in DC. They've been there since I've been a little boy. But the guard and everybody, they're not harassing the guys with the water. They're going after the criminals. And my man right here is going to tell you what's happening. Check it out.
Especially like a street vendor here, have you noticed a difference since the National Guard has been federalized? Has it impacted tourism?
Let's see. The Army guys, like them, they're cool. They don't care. They just want violent crimes to come to an end. But like these guys, they've been cool with me. They let me do my thing. Man. They don't really care about the waters. It's not really the waters that's the problem. It's the violent crime that they're for.
And it looks like they've done a great job here because what, 9 days now consecutively with no homicides?
Yeah. They've been taking a lot of guns off the streets.
You think as a business here that obviously relies on tourism, do you think that that's going to help tourism? It's going to attract more people in here like that and whatnot?
It's more safe place to come to. National Guard said more people want to come out and have fun. It don't affect me because I'm not a criminal. I have to stay all the way, come here, sell my waters and go home.
There you go, doing your thing. Do you think because the local police weren't doing nothing about it, it kind of warranted a federal response, or no?
Say that again?
Do you think because like the local stuff wasn't working out so much, you think it kind of warranted that federal response?
I believe so.
Yeah, it's kind of like.
So, yeah, because before they, bought the, what is it called, the National Guards and stuff here, the police wasn't really doing too much of nothing, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I live in, I guess you would say, like the ghetto.
The one common thing I keep getting is that once the National Guard showed up, the local police actually started to do their
work. Start actually doing their job. Like, that's crazy. Like, you would think they would want to do their job.
Exactly. So the people, like average everyday people in DC natives, they're saying, nah, this is great. We love it. We totally love it. My question is to the Democrats, how are you going to be out here with these protests and whatnot when the people of DC don't agree with you? How are you going to get them to support you in the next election? Like explicitly, how are you going to get them to come out more? I mean, by default, black folks are going to vote mostly for the Democratic Party, but how are you going to get anyone who may be on the fence? How are you really going to increase your standing? And now that we got the illegals up out of here, that plan didn't fail. So what are you going to do? What's your next course of action? Okay, so now we got the guard out here in DC hanging out with the youth. Okay, hanging out, chilling, you know what I mean, taking pictures, letting them get in the Humvee, being part of the community. See, they're chilling. Okay. They're just out there chilling. Just having a talk in the park. No big deal. They're interacting. See who they're interacting with? Now, Jake from Iowa, who was chucking corn up until 2 months ago, he's upset. But the residents, they chilling. You know, laying on the Humvee, talking to the guard. That boy right there might mess around and be part of the guard or the military when he get to be older. He's interested in what's happening right there, and they allowing the interaction to happen. That's a good thing. You want to be approachable, be part of the community, not just some kind of invading force. That's very good. Very, very good. And my man right here is going to tell you exactly what's going on. He's part of the guard. He's part of the police. He's going to tell you what's going on, what they're trying to do out there in the city.
Yeah, right now we're just out in public, right? In full uniforms, all right? Kind of like a community outreach showing our citizens that we're out here to keep them safe. And that's all it is. So we're not out here, we're not making arrests, we're not grabbing people up or throwing them in the back of the cars like some people have already accused us of doing. We're walking around talking to people. If I see somebody that's filming, I have no problem going up and say, hey, how are you? Because we're just doing the kinder, friendlier, we're out here, so hopefully if anybody is around here that is going to try and shoot up the place tonight, or rob somebody, or kidnap somebody, that they're deterred because there's so many of us out here.
Exactly. That's a big deterrent, because if I'm a criminal, I put myself in the criminal mind. Okay, if I'm the criminal out here, get ready to act crazy, I got my gun on me, I got drugs, maybe I'm going to think twice about doing something, since all these guys are out there and they are probably going to catch me. They're probably going to see me. It's not going to be something I could just do and get away with like the way it was in the past, which is part of the reason why there's so much crime and violence.
That's it. That's really what we're trying to do.
So are you patrolling for anything? You are patrolling?
Patrolling. So if we come across something, then of course we're going to act in accordance with what our policies and procedures are.
But you're not looking for something specific at this moment?
Not looking for anything specific. All we're doing is trying to interact with people, talk to people, say hi to people, make sure that they know that we're out here. And, yeah, and that's it, really, yeah.
How has the reaction been from people out here?
It's mixed. Yeah, I think it's mixed. I think there's some people that are out here that don't want to see us out here. I don't know why they don't want to see us out here. I've talked to a bunch of people that said they feel more concerned about us out here because now there's more guns out on the street. I think there's a difference of a trained law enforcement officer who has a gun than a criminal who has a gun, especially when that gun doesn't have a serial number. You don't know whose gun it is.
Are the liberals really mad at the cops for being out there because they got guns? Are they that anti-gun for real? Seriously? That's crazy, because the criminals all around them have plenty of guns. The criminals have no shortage of guns. So it's always good to have good guys, trained good guys, especially with guns in that kind of environment. Because if you don't have these trained good guys, what you're going to have is a bunch of crime and a bunch of unsuspecting victims.
And they're out popping off rounds to hurt somebody or kill somebody, but we're out here to protect that, and that's all we're out here to do. So it is, I mean, it is disheartening to us as law enforcement officers, but we're used to it by now, that we're out here to help serve and protect and keep people from getting hurt. That's all we're trying to do out here.
Given the size of DC, how do you choose where did you go?
So that's all from our team leaders. There is a joint operations center. That joint operations center is picking certain areas. So right now we're going to be here, Navy Yard, around the metros and all that stuff, because those are the high traffic areas. So they want us to be in those high traffic areas because that's where the majority of the stuff's happening.
Exactly. Right on point. Good policing. We need to have that nationwide. Because you know where the crime is at. Go to those areas and have a high presence. This is reminding me of what they would do down the beach, Virginia Beach, in like holiday time. Okay, you know it's going to be an influx of people at the beach. You need to have an increased police presence. And really all they do, they just kind of patrol. In Virginia Beach, they be on horses. I told y'all before, I was at the beach one time many years ago with a friend of mine. It was a few of us, but a friend of mine decided to go behind the restaurant and pee, like out in the open. And before you know it, it was a horse that was right up on him. It almost trampled him. And he got a ticket for urinating in public. So stuff like that, they're going to kind of crack down on in the tourist place because it brings down the overall experience. And also they're going to crack down on open bottles and fights and things of this nature. They're going to prevent fights from happening. They're going to try to do things to mitigate the crime. Same thing here. They're out there on the streets as a deterrent. If they see things that look like they are kind of out of place, they're going to go ahead and act to stop that, which is causing the crime to reduce. It's causing the crime to plummet, which is always a good thing. Those who are protesting against the cops because they got these big scary guns are not going to be protesting from getting carjacked or not. If they could choose between getting beat up, carjacked, and not getting beat up and carjacked, they're going to pick the latter every single time. But you know what? Hold on. Sometimes they might not pick that option. I saw a post today. The person deleted it. I'm not going to show you the person's name or nothing like that. But I saw this today, and it's a little bit disheartening, a little bit crazy. Hold on. You put it on the screen right quick. All right. So this is how crazy some of the white liberals are. Look at this. Dear @real Donald Trump, I've been carjacked in Chicago with my arm broken. I still don't want you or your troops here. TIA. By the way, there are no red hats here. Heart emoji. All right. So you literally were assaulted. Your arm is broken. You were carjacked in Chicago, but you don't want there to be more security. Why? Why? If you know there's a problem, look, in Chicago, there's a problem with crime. It's a problem. Everybody knows it. And you become a victim and you still don't want more security. So you want the crime to continue. This is the self-destructive nature of these people. It's self-destructive. Okay. It's totally nuts. Your armor is broken, ma'am. You don't want more assistance. You don't want more security. Imagine having TDS that much. Imagine your TDS is just out of control. That's crazy. It's actually Adam K. because of TDS. Summer Scott says, do you remember that one guy that got killed and didn't want the man to get in trouble who killed him? Oh, he was dead. And he said, nah, man, look, the dude that killed me, don't arrest him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay, man. Tell him to come to the funeral. It's lit. We got food and everything. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. And we got the guards out here. Going back to the guards, they're posing for pictures. All right. And I'll tell you what, though. I'm going to turn the sound down. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go to D.C. soon. I'm going to go to D.C. Look, he happy to get it. Happy to get, like, yay, pictures. Happy to get in the picture. If and when I go to D.C. sometime soon, I'm going to get a picture with the guard for sure. That's first course of... That's my first order of business. I ain't worried about no Smithsonian. I ain't worried about the White House. I'm going to touch where the guard is and be getting the photo op for sure. Lincoln Memorial. Oh, yeah, all day long. Let's do it. That's what I want. So yeah, shout out to everybody out there in DC taking their pictures. Okay, now ICE is out there conducting business, and some people don't want ICE to conduct their business. They want the illegal aliens to stay in their country, criminal aliens, whatever. They don't care. Like Kilmar Brecker Garcia, imagine campaigning for Kilmar Brecker Garcia to come back. A dude that beat his wife, a dude that was caught on camera human trafficking people from Mexico, beating his wife. We got documents for that. You wouldn't have protest for that guy to come back. You couldn't have picked somebody better who was accidentally deported. You couldn't get like a regular Home Depot landscaper with no criminal record. You get him anyway. So we got some of those who are protest for Kilmar out here for somebody else protesting for them. Let's watch.
That's great.
You're on video.
Shame on all of you.
Okay.
Shame on every single one of you.
You're going on private property.
No, this is not. No, you don't have a warrant. You don't have a warrant. You don't belong here. Show me. Show me. Show me your warrant. Every single one of you is ICE. Show me your warrant. Shame. Shame. Stay in your house. Are you okay?
Yeah, no, he's not okay. He's under arrest.
Whoever's in the house, do not open the door. Whoever's in the house, do not open the door. They're not entitled to your private spaces. These people are thugs. They're abductors. Shame. Sorry, man.
You were arrested
I'm so
already.
sorry.
You want to
Yes,
get
I'm
arrested
happy
again.
to. Shame on you. Shame on you. You're fascist. Shame on you.
Get out of here.
Shame on you.
Look, all I hear is, meh. Please shut up. Let those men do their job and get out the way. Let those men do their job and get out the way. Do you even know why this guy's being arrested? This guy could have been a whole criminal before he came to the country illegally. I'm talking about coming into the country is a crime in itself, illegally. But he also could have been a bank robber, a thief, organized crime, guns, drugs. You have no idea why that man's getting arrested. People get arrested every single day at their house, place of employment, whatever. But now all of a sudden, oh, they're fascists. They're fascists for enforcing the law. That's not fascism. If we had fascism in this country, you wouldn't be able to be out there talking and yip-yapping in the ICE agent's ear. It won't be no yip-yapping, no back talk, all in the ICE agent's ear. They would send you to the penitentiary to make big rocks little for getting in the way like that. So thank God you live in the USA where we don't have that happening quite yet. You could be out there screeching, acting the fool, upset, and you'll be totally fine. Hey, go to China somewhere, do something like that. Go to China or North Korea, man, they won't see you no more. You would get vanished immediately. So yeah, shout out to her. Yeah. Listen, he going to jail, and if you don't back off, you going too. So yeah, shout out to her. All right. Now, I think maybe the Washington, D.C. liberals saw my video about how they were not very, what y'all call it, seasoned? Not very many black folks in the crowd at these protests. Where's Waldo? Where's Walmart Tavius at? I don't know where he's at. So they got a few more blacks in the crowd, okay, and they put them right in the front. Okay, Tracy, Jamar, Lisa, go right to the front.
Black lives matter. 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 Thank y'all so much for showing up for yourselves this evening.
Okay, there we go. That's the free DC crowd talking about Black Lives Matter. Old school chant with some nicely made sign. Okay. Long live Go-Go. Shout out to Go-Go music. Why you got to put Go-Go in this? What's Go-Go got to do with the crime crackdown? Like, nothing at all. A lot of nice T-shirts and nicely printed signs. I wonder where the cash came from to do all this. Okay, is there a little bit of U.S. aid money left in the pot? Is there a U.S. aid surplus somewhere? A little secret deposit box? Because all of this that they got on, all of this stuff is most certainly expensive. And it was paid for by somebody, and it's not them that paid for it. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Now, this is out there by U Street, which is notoriously a dangerous place. I wonder if it's safer now that the guard are out there.
So over the past week and over the weekend up till right now, we have seen so many federal agencies in our city. ICE, the DEA, the FBI, the CIA, the 22 Top. I don't even know some of these people, right? And guess what? We didn't ask them to be here. And I know y'all already know the facts, but I want to remind everybody who's watching. Crime is down in D.C. Let me say that one more time. Crime is down in Washington, D.C. For the past 30 years, this is the lowest that violent crime has been in our city. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets.
Now, that's not true at all, because I told y'all the numbers. In 2012, it might have been like 89 murders in D.C., and they're on pace to get 150 this year. So it's not the lowest in 30 years. Okay, it's not at all. It's high. And even if it was the lowest in 30 years, it's still too high. Okay, you could say, well, we had 175 murders this year, and last year we had 185, therefore crime is down. It's still too many murders for a city of DC size. What, like 600,000 in DC? With 175 murders, 200 murders, 400 murders in the early 90s? It's still too much. Okay, it is still too much. Yes, I did. Hey, Taylor, that was my video. Well, it wasn't my video, but I had uploaded it, and it got a lot of views. So you may have seen the one that I uploaded, but that's not my original video. But yeah, I did see that, of course. And look what they did. So they put this little poster up on the storefront window. The guy with the hero sandwich that had hit the cop. I'm good. And look, people were trying to tell me back when I was in Virginia, oh, go to DC, ABL. Don't go to Atlanta, go to DC. I was like, man, I knew what DC was from the beginning. I didn't want to be too expensive, and I didn't want to go to DC and do with that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm really into. So this guy says, hey, when we crack down on crime, when we really try to enforce the law, that is akin to slavery because the police were the slave catchers. Okay, let's watch some of this, shall we?
They're not even trying to hide it. The police badge and the runaway slave patrol badge is the exact same. And realizing this makes sense as to why they want to fill the prison up with us black kings and black queens, because slavery was abolished, except for if you go to prison. So if you're committed of a crime, the government is allowed to strip you of your freedom and force you to work in the prison. But how many times have we seen cops plant things on people? So if you ask me, slavery was rebranded as prison.
Okay, now he has a point, but he's not making the point. Yes, when slavery ended, if you were convicted of a crime and you went to prison, you could also be a slave. That's in the Constitution. That's what it says. Slavery is abolished except for when you're in prison. So during the early post-slavery period, there was like a hyper focus on some of the smaller things to get you locked up to keep that workforce. But 2025 is not like that. What's happening now is that in a place like DC, they're soft on crime. They're not prosecuting anything. And as a result, you're having a lot of violent crime that just goes on. Because it's the same small handful of guys that's committing it. We're not trying to get people on ticky-tack little charges. Like that boy that tried to escape for the suspended license. I'm like, bro, you ain't going to jail for that. It ain't that deep. Pay a fine and that's it, at best. It probably won't be nothing, but you made it something because you didn't want to get out the car. People they're not trying to prosecute for low-level ticky-tack stuff. They're trying to get the drug dealers, the murderers, the people that are terrorizing the community. That is who we're talking about. And when you hear from residents of DC, black residents of DC, what do they say? I can finally breathe again. I'm not worried about getting carjacked. I'm not worried about getting shot. I'm not worried about having a violent crime happen to me as a regular, everyday, hardworking American in the nation's capital. That's what they say. It's not about trying to get everybody locked up. It's not about that. And a lot of y'all can't even work no way and don't want to work no way. You'd be a terrible slave in the penitentiary. Okay, how you going to be in there slaving when you 500 pounds and can't even move? But anyway, so yeah. I understand what you're saying if it was 1875, but this is 2025. Leave the past in the past and move forward. And if you don't want to, you'll get left behind. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, did you guys see the park ranger who left a transformer, a transgender flag in the Grand Canyon? I'm like, why would you put a transgender flag in the Grand Canyon? What are we doing? It shouldn't be any other flag other than the American flag. Stars and stripes. That's it. No other flag. I don't care if it supports the right, supports the left. Why would you put any other flag aside from the American flag in the Grand Canyon? Okay, but let's watch this, shall we?
This is a matter of free speech. S.J. Jocelyn, who uses they, them pronouns, was fired from their job at Yosemite National Park last week.
Not Grand Canyon. This is a Yosemite. Pardon me.
I had the best job in the world. Jocelyn says park leaders told them they, quote, failed to demonstrate acceptable conduct for their role in displaying a trans flag on the famous El Capitan rock formation during one of their days off in May. I came up with the idea back in March. Just the trans community was really hurting with all of the recent kind of persecution that we've had against us from the federal government. What better meaning of a thing as hanging a huge trans flag in the most iconic feature in the park? Like,
see, this is what I'm talking about. Are you guys a separate species? Like, what's going on here? See, I don't care what you identify as, transformer, normie, whatever. You're still an American if you're an American citizen. So we should all fall up under that umbrella rather than this right here. This is like a separate little country you got going on. Okay, that's a separate country.
Huge trans flag in the most iconic feature in the park. Like, wouldn't that just be such an amazing celebration? I wasn't worried about facing repercussions at work because El Cap has a long precedent of allowing flags to be flown. So it's really been a place where people can practice free speech. Shortly after the flag was hung, Jocelyn learned they were the subject of a criminal investigation. But when they lawyered up and declined to be questioned, that led to a mandatory administrative interview.
See, there go those pronouns again. They, them pronouns, because when she said they, I'm thinking about it was more than one of y'all that did that and getting charged, but you're speaking about one individual. This is confusing. That's a grammatically incorrect statement. When you say they, you're referring to at least more than one person, not just one person.
Months later, they were called into a meeting. Acting deputy superintendent shook my hand and then fired me on the spot. I asked her if she understood that I was the only one who had been fired or reprimanded for hanging flags on El Cap, even though there have been flags hung on El Cap for decades, and I didn't get answers. Jocelyn has been a park ranger and wildlife biologist at Yosemite since 2021, and they've been a part of the community there more broadly for 16 years.
Yeah, you were right to get fired. That was a good firing right there. Shake your hand and fire you. Yeah, that was the right thing to do. They. I'm not calling you they, bro, sis, bris, whatever. I'm calling you just by one thing, not by multiple people. That's a demon anyway. Multiple people in your brain at once. You got to get some Jesus in your life. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. So this guy right here is pretty interesting. Omar Fateh. Okay, this character is running for mayor of Minneapolis and got an endorsement, I believe. But the endorsement was revoked for some reason. And that's him right there in the center. I'm the captain now. That's him.
Congresswoman at the Shane.
Yeah.
Sida raka soo wada baxnay. Haddaba Umar waa ka xumahayo.
Virginia oo qabooba lagu dhalay laakiinse waan adopt gareynay siidarna wax badan ma joogina ma soo dhashay.
Okay, this is the USA. We're not in Mogadishu. We're not in Somaliland. We're not in the Horn of Africa. We're not in the Gulf of, what's that? The Gulf of Aden, Red Sea, whatever it is. We're not over there. We are in the US of A. No English spoken at all. Okay? And again, that guy right there, Omar Forte, he is running for Minneapolis mayor, and he did get an endorsement, but the endorsement was revoked. Okay, it was revoked. Let's show some of that. All right.
This is not a scenario where you need to take my word for it. As the state party said, and as the investigation showed, this was a process that was rife with errors and misconduct. Hundreds of people didn't get counted out of hundreds of votes in total. There was an entire ward where nobody knew who the ward delegates were. The whole thing went missing. I don't know. We still don't know exactly how they became to the determination based on that ward. The data itself was given to the other campaigns, and they were allowed to edit it.
So we got some corruption. This is Jacob Fry. He's the current mayor of Minneapolis, and there was an endorsement from DFL, the local Democratic Party, I suppose, for the Somali guy, for the Democratic Party. But that was revoked because there was some irregularities with the voting. Okay, so finally, you guys are starting to acknowledge that there's some irregularities happening in a lot of these Democrat-run spaces, Jacob Fry. Finally. Okay, but, hey, man, Jacob, Mr. White Guy, you're supposed to be holding Minneapolis. You guys have lost Minneapolis because of your immigration policy. You put all of them in one place without any kind of assimilation. So that's your fault. That's your fault. You did it to yourself, Jacob, and everybody out there in Minneapolis. All right. So this is going to be about Bolton. What's that, John Bolton? Yeah. First, he's going to talk about the raid on Trump's house, and then it'll be about him getting raided himself.
Overemphasize to you, John, how big of a deal this would have been within the Department of Justice and the FBI. This is not, a couple of agents showing up at some judge's door in the middle of the night to get an emergency warrant. This is something that would have been planned out and reevaluated and legally examined from every possible angle by the entirety of the leadership structure of both organizations. So let's remember that to get a search warrant in any case, whether it's you or I or the former president, you have to go before a federal judge and convince that judge that there is probable cause to believe both that a federal crime has been committed and that evidence of that crime is contained within the space you have described in your warrant request. So we have, in this situation, a federal judge who made that determination, giving the agents authority to enter that premises and search every part of the premises that might contain the items that are specifically described in the warrant.
So that was them talking about the Mar-a-Lago raid, when they went to Trump's house and raided Mar-a-Lago. Wasn't it when they had they did like this picture, and they showed a magazine cover and all kind of just random things, files just kind of strewn about for the photo op. It was so ridiculous. But it was cool when that happened. When the Mar-a-Lago raid happened, it was totally fine. But now let's see what CNN says when it comes to John Bolton getting his home raided.
Absolutely no doubt that Mr. Bolton will have very good counsel, and they will attack this in a full-throated and complete way, as they should, right? So we know that Mr. Bolton has said critical things about the president. That's not illegal. That's not a crime. That's pretty squarely within your First Amendment right in this country. And in fact, you shouldn't be. You're not supposed to be. The Department of Justice and the FBI have all kinds of policies absolutely prohibiting investigating people for the exercise of their First Amendment rights. And so if that's what's going on here, and there's all kinds of reasons to believe that that might be the true motivation. We know that the president is embarked on a pretty extensive
effort to go after his perceived enemies, to,
he said he was
infamous
running on
revenge
retribution.
tours.
Yeah.
So now it's about revenge. Now, oh, well, Trump's trying to get revenge. Now it's about that. But what was it when Trump faced all of this stuff from the feds, from some of the locals like Yvonne Willis and Letitia James and everybody else? What was it at that point? Okay, and is it about revenge or just trying to hold people accountable? Because if all of this was orchestrated by people, that the top-down thing, Russia, being harassed by Obama and those guys, why is it all of a sudden wrong to hold them accountable or to figure out what's going on? You might have some classified documents. You might be hiding some stuff. Let's figure out it's called an investigation. And sometimes you're going to get raided, just like they raided, what was that, Roger Stone? They raided him in the middle of the night, and CNN was there. Speaking about CNN was there before the feds got there to do the raid. And the raid wasn't needed. They got him, arrested him in the middle of the night. There was no need to do all that. He would have went straight to D.C. It's cool when they do it, but when we do anything close to that, it's a problem. But of course, it's the same media who will take any chance they get to attack a conservative because they are in the pocket of the left. Okay, now, this is about an investment banker. He's going to say his sleep pattern and the way he operates in his day. Now, I could recognize a guy like that, really big brain, high functioning, high IQ, and they are a certain way in order to maximize their output. Okay, they can't really be like a regular person. Let's watch.
My rule is I shoot for 6 hours of sleep, and if I don't get 6 hours of sleep, then I won't go to the gym in the morning. I think sleep is better. I prioritize my career over the gym, obviously, and so I'd much rather prefer to sleep and work better the next day than sleep and go to the gym and just be exhausted all day, even if I do drink caffeine, right? Which usually works. Also, quick tip, if you want work-life balance, be good at your job, like flat out. Like if you want a work-life balance, be really good at your job because you'll be much more efficient during the day. So my rule is...
So I'm the same way as far as my sleep pattern. I sleep 5 to 6 hours. If I can get 5, I'm good. 5 is the sweet spot. 6, I'm like kind of lounging a little bit. And I sleep a lot on the couch because I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to get too comfy in the bed. I sleep in the bed on the weekends. Well, sometimes I sleep in the bed, other times, but normally I sleep in the bed on the weekend. Like to go to bed, to sleep. I sleep in the bed on the weekend because I don't want to get my body to be too mushy. And if I sleep 8 hours, I'm tired during the day. Tonight, like this last night, what time I go to bed? I probably got about 5.5 hours last night. No naps through the day and 1 meal a day. But yet I'm still energized right now. Yeah, so my sweet spot is like 5 is the perfect, but 6, I'm like getting a little bit of extra. That's like a little bit of a treat for me. 8 hours, if I sleep that long, I'm tired when I get up. I feel groggy, and I feel like I've wasted a lot of my day. But that's just me. So Peg says 7 hours. SR says I sleep 5 to 6 hours. I do miss when I could do 8 or 9 easy. AMG's not 9 to 10 hours, 12 hours. 12 hours, you done lost half of the day. You see, you got 24 hours in the day. If I sleep 6, I done slept for 25% of the day. If you sleep 12, you slept half of the day. That's crazy. That doesn't make no sense. Like, how can you do any kind of job? How can you do any work if you got 12 hours of sleep? Tup says 7 hours I need. Phoenix on Molokai says I need 7 to 8 hours to fall asleep. Yeah, so about 7 to 8. But for me, 5 is perfect. Anything lower than that, I'm just going to be out of it. I will be spacey if I get less than that. But anything more than 7 is too much.
Dana.
Okay, so we got another 20-year-old landscaper. I done showed y'all a 12-year-old landscaper, a 20-year-old landscaper. These guys are getting money. If you're a young guy especially, you could do this all day long. If I was 19 years old again, 20 years old again, and I had all this available to me, man, please, I'd be out there making so much money with landscaping, it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy. because people don't want to cut their grass. They don't want to trim their like tree removal. I know a couple of guys that got that service. DJ Green back in Virginia has a tree removal service. Joe Patrick, a social media guy, that's what he does as well. If you guys ever seen that white privilege big pickup truck from the black guy, that's Joe Patrick. He has a tree removal service. Big money in this kind of stuff. Let's watch my man right here.
Life of a 20-year-old landscaping business owner. Today was a big $2,000 job. At 8:30, I set up the boys at the job site, and then from there headed out to the dump. Grabbed a good old energy drink, then arrived back at the job site and was very pleased to see how much work the boys had gotten done since I had left. They got all the natural edging done, all of the border ripped out, and a lot of the weeds pulled out of all of the beds. They started to fill up my trailer again, and once it was full, we stepped on it, got it all smushed down so nothing would fly out on the way to the dump. On the way to the dump, I stopped at the gas station and got rid of some plastic from the job before, then arrived at the dump and got rid of everything.
What it do?
I headed back to the job site and saw that the boys were flying through this job and had most of the prep work done. I had to leave to go to an estimate at 12, but on the way stopped for some good old Chipotle and then headed over to the estimate. On the way back, I stopped for a couple drinks, and then I got back to the job site to see that once again the boys were busting ass. They had all the weed fabric laid out and mulch was already getting dumped.
Now, what do you know about these guys? Okay, you're watching these guys do their thing. What do you notice about them? Anybody want to guess? The main thing I see about these guys, I'll give you a hint. The left say, oh, well, y'all don't want to work. Y'all don't want to get your hands dirty. Y'all don't want to do these jobs that others do. What do you see about them that the media would say that is false?
Fast forward a couple hours, all the mulch was done. Around 4:45, we finished up this job. As you can see, all of the beds had all the weeds, plants, and bushes that the client didn't want pulled out, and a nice natural edge surrounded all of the beds with a 3 to 4 inch depth. After collecting the payment, I headed back to my house, took a shower, and then got right to work on my computer. I locked in for a little bit on the Excel spreadsheets, then went grocery shopping with my sister, and meal prepped some chicken, beef, rice, and veggies for the week. After my stomach settled, I took some pre-workout, did some computer work, and then headed out to the gym. Originally, I wasn't planning on hitting legs, but once I started spamming the leg extension machine, I just got into the groove and finished out the workout. Now, if you want to know how I get all my landscaping leads organically, comment scape and I'll send you my free...
So there we go. So you guys got it. They're white. White guys, young white guys out there getting money. Ain't no Hispanics, ain't no blacks, they just white. That's totally fine. So when the media says, oh, you guys don't want to work... They, like what they say, Gavin Newsom and them, they say, oh, well, these illegal aliens, they cut your grass, they wash your dishes, they clean your beds. Really, do they? Because last I checked, you could be an American of any color and do those jobs. It doesn't have to be someone from south of the border or somewhere else. It doesn't have to be that. And if you're going to be from south of the border, at least come here legally. That's all we ask. But yeah, shout out to the white guys out there getting money. Okay, doing it the right way. And I don't care what color you are. You an American, do the same thing. Do the same thing. Now,
what do you do?
This is going to be how much teachers make in Chicago. Now, teacher pay has always been kind of a subject. Matter of fact, hold on. I think I have another video that I wanted to show about this very same subject because there's a bunch of money spent on a lot of these schools and nothing really gets done. Let me see if I can find that right quick before we get to the next thing. And if you like what you're hearing so far, I got it right here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. So, Chicago, Illinois, how much do you make as a school teacher? All righty, let's go ahead and watch.
Do for a living?
I am a Chicago public school teacher, but I recently just finished my last year.
What are you teaching?
I'm a high school English teacher.
How are the high schoolers today?
It's always the phones.
How much are you making as a public school teacher?
So this past school year, before tax, I was scheduled to make, or I made 74 as my base salary. And because I do, in Chicago public schools, if you do anything after school, they call it OST funding. Depending on how many hours you work, you get additional funding after that. So because I ran my school's drama program this year, I made an additional $5K after that.
Do you feel well compensated as a teacher in Chicago? Do you feel like that's a good rate?
Personally, yes, I do. But I'm speaking as someone who does not have children, and is just a single person living by myself.
Right.
And I'm fine with renting. But part of the reason why I actually decided to leave is because I know I want to buy a house eventually. And just on the salary schedule alone for a teacher, I was not going to be able to do that in Chicago.
What are you going to do next?
I'm actually going to be starting an MBA program.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. And what do you hope to do after that with your MBA?
Ideally, somewhere in the impact investing area, or consulting.
What advice would you share with others who are interested in working in education based on your years of experience?
Know how to read a salary schedule, understand how you are going to be compensated and why, and then I would calculate beforehand, average rent rates in the school district that you're going to be teaching in. If you can, live in the same district that you teach in, if you can afford it, just because it really helps you contextualize what your kids are going through. So, yeah.
All right, there we go. So is that a good salary, $79,000 before tax for being a teacher in Chicago? Now, of course, a teacher, you don't work the entire year. You have off. You have off your weekends. You're not working the entire year. Summertime, you're off. You get nice vacations, Christmas time, and stuff like this. So is that too low? Would you want more for a teacher in Chicago? Now, let's stay on Chicago, okay? Not a single child was proficient in 55 Chicago public schools. 55 schools, no kids proficient in math. Now, that's not all of the schools in Chicago, obviously, but some of them have that problem.
Yeah.
And they spend $13,000 per pupil for what they say. That's a little bit high. It might not be that high, but it's high. It's high enough. So if we're not getting teachers that are paid a lot of money, then where's the money going? If they spend that much money per pupil, then why do teachers not get paid what they think they should get paid?
Look, Ashana is describing the status quo perfectly. There is inequity built into the government-run school system. The public schools in too many places discriminate on the basis of zip code, and they're failing kids in too many places as well. In Chicago, there are 55 public schools with not a single kid proficient in math, yet they spend about $30,000 per student per year, which is about 50 to 60% higher than average private school tuition in that area. And so, look, the money doesn't belong to the schools, public or private. Education funding is meant for educating children, not for protecting a particular institution. We should fund the student, not the system. We should fund the person, not the building. And so with school choice, that allows the money to follow the child. If you like your public school, you can keep your public school. But if not, that money should follow the student to a private school if that works better, or a charter school, or even a homeschool option. And this is what's happening over the past few years. The unions closed the schools as long as possible. Why are kids leaving? Because parents are going towards homeschooling, private schools, and school choice is passing in so many states right now like we've never seen before. It's great news. Yeah, look.
So about school choice, how do you feel about that? Is that a good thing, bad thing? Do you guys want to do more homeschool? I think homeschool is like really, really popular right now. That's a new thing. Homeschool with networks of homeschools, of other homeschool people. Like, okay, you got over there, you got a house, they got a few kids they're going to teach, and then over there is another one, and you guys network. The kids do, they got activities at school, they have sports, they do things beyond the traditional go to school kind of environment. It's just different because they see that the traditional school method is not really working. There's a lot of issues. So many teachers are crazy. LGBTQ, elemental P teachers. It's just too much stuff going on in the public school system. So they say, you know what? Let's get out of that. Let's go a different direction. Okay, school choice is good. Love school choice. Yeah, get competition in there. Let's get some competition. And then they say, well, the kids who are underperforming will be left behind. But if they underperform, they're not going to perform better at a better school, in my opinion. Not necessarily, because they need to get up to date. Like I said before, if they can't read by the third grade, it's already over with. And putting them in a different school is not going to fix the problem, because they're going to need to be educated differently than everybody else. This goes back to the whole special ed thing. That's why a lot of those kids get put in special ed, because they're not on the same page as everybody else. They're not disabled mentally, but they're just behind. If 99% of the class can read at or beyond grade level and you can't, then how do we teach the entire class who are at one level and include you at this lower level? You would go special ed, get taught over there. Like I said before, if you have a class where 90% of the class are at a low level of education, they can barely read, they can barely count to 10, they're here, and you got like 5 kids in the class who are way above them. Those 5 kids who are above most of the class will go special ed because they need a more advanced program. I would just say go to the best school that's suited for you. And if you're not suited for one of the best schools, you shouldn't go there until you are. Work hard, study, prepare to get into that better school, and then apply and get in. It's like going to college, or at least it should be. Okay, you want to go to the top of the top college. You want to go to Harvard, Yale, whatever. Okay, cool. But you're not ready for Harvard or Yale. You need a state school, a trade school, a community college, something. Figure out where it's best for you to go, apply there, and go there. And if you want to get more education later, once you get to a certain point, apply again to the higher spots and go there. But to skip from not being able to read to Harvard doesn't compute. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, Johnny says Trump fine out. Okay, so the Trump fine, Trump was fined $527 million, and the fine was thrown out. It was thrown out, if you guys didn't see it, okay, by the New York Appeal Court. And this was the dumbest thing in the world, because look, how are you going to say that I said my house costs too much? I said my house is worth too much. My property is worth too much. Listen, the value of my property is my opinion and the opinion of the bank. If the bank agrees with me, then let's go forward. If they don't agree with me, then let's negotiate and figure out how much my property is worth, how much my house is worth, how much whatever I say is worth a thing is worth a thing. How much is it? Let's figure it out and then move forward with the loan process. What they said was that he lied and overinflated the value of his properties, and he was able to get favorable lending as a result, which is a criminal offense or a civil offense, and they fined him some crazy amount of money. This was thrown out because they said it was punitive, meaning it was meant to punish him, not necessarily a thing that made sense for the quote unquote violation, and it was excessive. It was excessive and punitive, so they threw it out. Now, Letitia James, the Attorney General, could appeal that, but I doubt it, because why would you appeal it? Why would you appeal it when you got your own problems going on, and everybody knows that this was punitive, and it was a way before the election to keep Trump out of office and to drain his resources. Since Trump won, all the cases went away. This is like the last one that's still standing, and I hope that it goes away pretty soon as well. So yeah, shout out to Trump for defeating Letitia James for that $500 million. You're not going to get it. Never going to get it. Shout out to En Vogue. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that'll help me out tremendously. All right. Super chats on deck. I'm going to read these, and then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Thank you to Apple, who says, ABL, please comment on Cracker Barrel, name racist. Nah, not a racist name at all. But shout out to Cracker Barrel. Apple says, we got to protect Cracker, Jack, Sailor, and Green Giant. Yeah, for real. Protect all of the iconic names. It's like everybody had their image or something from them on iconic products, and that was all just kind of going away. I don't like that. Monique Price says, can we get a legit? Okay, yeah, I got you for that one. Can I get a legit what I eat in a day short? I got you on that, Monique, for sure. Thank you to Ryan Walker, who says, I walk 4 miles in the gym 4 times a week, plus eat at home now. Haven't felt this good in years. Lots of energy, and sleep is fantastic. Absolutely. That's all you got to do, Ryan. Listen, to everybody, Ryan said I walk 4 miles in the gym 4 times a week plus eat at home now. That's all you got to do. And you don't got to be like super gym bro in there, steroids, getting pumped up, bit crazy. You don't got to do all that, but just be active. Okay. I like the Stairmaster. I could do an hour on the Stairmaster like it's nothing. That's just like walking in the park to me. I like cardio when it's like that. I don't like running, but I will walk for a long time or do Stairmaster. I'd rather would do a Stairmaster or walk than run. Because my knees, I'm old. I just don't got time, right? That's all you got to do. Some cardiovascular, eat right, sleep well, hydrate properly, and you're good. You're going to feel good. You're going to be healthy. And that is what it's all about. Thank you to Mauricio91 who says, that's a problem with the community. Intelligence sounds white. Exactly. Yeah, because somebody was saying that I sound white earlier in the chat. Okay. Somebody that probably can't read. Thank you to Mauricio who says, I think we still have a war to end. Well, there's a couple of those, ain't it? It's a few of those. Thank you to Mambo1278 who says, it's projected that more than half of the world's young women right now, 18 to 34, will still be single and childless by 2050. That's about right. That's about right because the birth rate is so low. The birth rate is like, what? In a lot of your Western countries, the birth rate is not at replacement. Replacement, again, the replacement rate means on average how many children does each woman have. And right now, in the West, you need 2.1 on average to have a stable population, just to be stable, not growing, not shrinking, but stable 2.1. So that means each woman should have an average of 2.1 children. But in the United States, among whites, it's like 1.4, maybe 1.3. Among blacks, it's like 1.6, 1.7. Below replacement. Go to Korea, South Korea, it's 0.73. 0.73, that's the average. That is unsustainable. If that continues, you will just die out. It won't be no more, y'all. So yeah, that's we gotta really fix that. Thank you to Michael Guess who says, didn't they try that communion crap in Russia? Hold on. Didn't they try that communism crap in Russia? How did that work out? Exactly, Michael Guess. Thank you to Leah Mazzina who says, New Jersey Transit did free busing for a short time last year. Buses were crowded. It was awful. I know they were. Terrible. Thank you to Michael Guess who says, put those celebrities on a Carnival cruise. Thank you to Papa Naya Shelley who says, not gonna lie, 25 million, son. Shh, but hold up. Pacino kissed his brother and Godfather. Just saying. I got bills, ABL. Hey, man. Hey, if Denzel said, you know what, I'm gonna kiss this man in his mouth for 25 million, that just shows what Hollywood guys will do. If he wants to do that, that's totally fine. The wife, she cool with it. She don't care because she getting the money too. But for me, I'm good. I am good. Thank you to Angela B who says, have you heard the song Devil is a Democrat? I have not. Thank you to Dan Vicious who says, MS Now is offensive to people with multiple sclerosis. Thank you to Ron Henderson who says, crack down on crackheads and homeless people are off our streets. Yeah, for Trump. Right on. Thank you to Ron Henderson who says, DC is what law and order looks like. Lock criminals up. Exactly. Thank you to It's Lanita who says, Jay Kroc knows why she barely leaves her apartment. Crime. You talking about Jasmine Crockett? Exactly. Meanwhile, where I am, my neck of the woods out here in Chattanooga, oh, it's so beautiful. Out where I live, it's beautiful. I go downtown. They got the downtown pretty cool. I go down there to the river, getting that nice warm breeze on my body. It's the best, man. Love the mountain air, the valley air, all of that good stuff. DC, I could never live there. Ron Henderson says, I saw that idiot too, ABL. What an idiot, beat up, but still rather have criminals in the city instead of the troops. Exactly. Thank you to Free Agent Forever Rocky Cage who says, what's up, ABL? It's funny how some of the DC residents are mad at Trump for trying to make DC safer. I wonder if the energy is still the same if their loved one got deleted. Salute to you, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. And hey, I showed a lady that got carjacked and had her arm broken and still said no troops. So they're self-destructive. They can see it happening in front of their eyes it can happen to them, but yet they don't want to help. So what can you do with that kind of person? You're just totally ignoring reality. And if you're living in that kind of world, I can't reach you in that space. Come back to reality, then we could talk. Thank you to Ron Henderson, who says, we are enslaved in our own neighborhood, can't even go out to enjoy ourselves. Are you kidding me? Exactly. Thank you to Free Agent for Rocky Cage, who says, me personally, I eat 1 meal a day, no later than 1 p.m. Your weight will be consistent if you stay consistent on how you eat. Started that 4 years ago, and I've been over 60 pounds lighter since. There you go. That's how you do it. Be consistent and treat your body well. You'll thank yourself every single day. Ron Henderson said, make all ballots in English. Absolutely. Right on. Hey, if you can't read the ballot, oh well, you got to figure it out. That's what I would say. That's actually a pretty good idea. If you can't read the ballot, oh well. Okay, let's learn the language. Because if I go to China and I want to be a Chinese citizen, first of all, I'm not Han Chinese, so that ain't going to happen. But let's say they let me be a citizen over there, and I got to vote. Do you think they're going to try to put everything in English for me? And even if it was, are they going to translate it properly to the point where it makes sense perfectly for me? At a certain point, I have to adopt to what they got going on over there in their country. This is not America. This is China. So I have to adapt to them. And the same thing for them when they come over here, adapt to us. Like, I don't know, if you get a CDL, know how to read road signs, know how to read your test you take to get the CDL, that might be the first qualification to get in the CDL. Know how to read it and pass it. I don't know. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's get to the calls. The number to call, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406. There it is, 706-406-3287. The number is always in the ticker below the video. Also in the box below the video as well. Check it out. And again, shout out to you guys again for rocking and rolling. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Yeah, the assimilation is very important. 734, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, it's Taisha from Michigan. How you doing?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm good. So I just had 2 comments. The first comment was regarding Trump in general. I feel like everybody just blamed him from everything. It makes me think of that scene when he was in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, when he was like, they blame me for everything. And if Obama did the same thing in D.C., the black people there would literally be praising him, saying, no one ever cared about us. So I just don't understand that one. And then with Denzel's wife, she looked just so uncomfortable. Like, if you go back and just only watch her, you knew she was so disappointed in her husband. And granted, he do what you want, but you can tell she was really bothered by that.
I saw the same thing you saw, and the way he was holding her, like holding her by her neck, like it wasn't like how you would embrace somebody like on his shoulder. It was like he was kind of like pinching her like a dog or something. I was like, are y'all okay? What's going on? So she was uncomfortable. He was trying to hold her there so she didn't get kind of out of whack. It was really a weird scene to see.
It was definitely, I just couldn't even believe he did that. My first time hearing that was tonight when that you mentioned that. But only comment, I'm just here having a drink. My birthday is tomorrow, and I just love listening to your show every Saturday.
Well, thank you for the call. Happy early birthday as well.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right now. All right. Shout out to the birthday girl calling on in to the show. Great call as well. Yeah, that was a super awkward interaction between him and his wife. Very awkward. 832, you're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Miss Priscilla from Houston.
All righty. What's going on?
I would like to share my experience I had today. I went to an event that was hosted by some Texas tops, I don't know, and it was called Politics in Soul Food. Well, I walked in with a old InfoWars shirt that said I stand with Trump, and immediately everybody was focused on me. Like, their whole agenda changed. They got on the microphone and they said, we are not to talk about politics. We're not going to talk about politics. And I said, well, y'all should have had a different title, you know. And they ran out of, so they had chicken, baked beans, and potato. They ran out of their food that they were serving. But I was surrounded by people that told me I needed to leave and that I wasn't welcome there, or I needed to change my shirt. So because I told them I wasn't leaving, I brought a friend, and then I was speaking with a lady at the table, and she was talking about people stealing property from, making fake things that they turn in, and they try to steal the property. So I was talking to her about it, and I said, yeah, I would like to, I know some property that I believe, should be investigated. And she tells me, well, here's my card, but I want to let you know I talk real bad about white people and Donald Trump. And I said, well, you sound evil. I mean, I just couldn't believe how I was treated in there. Like I'm Hispanic. Everybody thinks I'm white. I'm real light complected. But like I told them, I don't associate with race. Like I'm a spirit. And it's not about race. It's about good and evil. And I just feel that, you should treat people the way you want to be treated. And I feel like I'm being discriminated against right now. And they made me. I said, I'll put your shirt on. And but I don't see why I'm being treated this way. Donald Trump is your president. It was so when they spoke nothing but lies. They were pushing fear, about you should worry about your Medicaid and your medical benefits. They're going to take them away, and they're going to take your food benefits. And I said, well, the Donald Trump works fast because they already took your food benefits. Y'all ran out of chicken. I mean, I just was treated so badly, and I just couldn't believe that a shirt made people feel that way. And I wasn't scared. There were angry beta men yelling at me, telling me to get out, that I was not welcome there. I was on private property and I needed to get out. And I said, if this was, and they had Black Lives Matter shirts on, Black Power with fists in the air. I said, this is crazy. Like I feel that everybody in here is a hypocrite, and I did say, I said, what Martin Luther King said? He said, judge a man not by the color of his skin, but by his character. And I believe right now, y'all are judging me. You're making me leave because of a T-shirt, and we're not to talk politics. Yet y'all are talking about the big, beautiful, ugly bill, and you're pushing fear, and it's all lies. And really, I hope they wake up. Like I can't believe that people are that lost. And I just kept telling them, I don't feel y'all are treating me right. And one lady, she was nice enough to explain that she believes Donald Trump is a racist. And I said, I'm sorry you feel that way. And she said, well, when I see his name, it makes me feel a certain way. And I said, well, I hope you get to change how you feel. But he's not a racist. And I told my friend, because she's Democrat, but we were willing to go to this event together, and she said, Priscilla, I can't believe the way you were treated. I said, and people will say that it's the Trump supporters that are crazy, but it's not. It's the people that hate Trump that are so hateful. Like, I just kept saying, man, there's no love in here. There's nothing but evil, lost, and they want to try to keep you lost. But, I had fun. I left. After that, I played, one of Bison get one of his Trump is your president song on the way out of there, you know, because and I just had to share that with you. You know, I just want. It was amazing the way I was treated today, and if it was reversed, they wouldn't have been able to handle it. You know, if it was one black guy and everybody was white and they were yelling at him like, "Hey, we don't want you here and you're not welcome here," and they said, "Do I have to call the cops?" I said, "Call the cops. I'm not scared." And then they were passing out these iPods.
Well, hold on. I don't want to take so much time, but I got a few more calls on the line. But thank you for sharing your experience. And it's crazy you got treated like that, but you know how they are. They just want to talk among themselves. They don't want to have anybody else. So I'm glad you were able to at least make your presence known. But thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you for listening, and I love your show. Thank you so much.
Good
night. All right.
All right. Shout out to the caller. But yeah. But I'm glad that we're able to go to these places and at least make our presence known. They're going to be mad, of course. It's pretty much their default. That's what they do. 215, hit online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how's it going?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Hey, I wanted to talk to you about something. What was I wanted to say about? It's crazy. A lot of things happen so rapid. Like with the truck driver who made that illegal turn on the highway, making that U-turn. My reaction was, what the hell is he thinking?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was totally crazy. But see, they can do stuff like that where they're from. But over here in the USA, you just can't behave like that. And when you bring that culture over here, it doesn't mix. And of course, you're going to have crazy, tragic accidents.
Yeah, and basically what got me is just, you could tell he's used to doing that. And then also some other information I heard is he had failed the English test as well, but they still gave him the driver's license, the CDL.
Yeah, he didn't really, he had only got 1 of 4 traffic signs right or something. Like it was a really low score. So they just pretty much gave it to him for not much of anything.
Yeah, there needs to be some harsh consequences for that, and I'm like some really harsh penalties for that. Like they can't just let that they can't let that slide at all. And just like with it was a DMV in Florida that got busted for handing out free driver's license to illegal immigrants that had paid for it. Well, it wasn't free, but they weren't passing the test, but they were doing some illegal stuff to get their driver's license without having to take the test.
Yeah, I mean, that right there can't be going on. They did that in Springfield, Ohio, where they could just give him a license with no test. And, of course, what happened as a result was you had an increase in traffic accidents, and then the people in the area had to pay like 3 times their insurance rate because of all the influx of traffic accidents.
Yeah, which is insane. And another thing I wanted to bring forth is like, I'm telling you, me and my people, we're trying to do a video. We're about to expose this whole Gaza thing and GHF, because I'm gonna tell you right now, Anthony, ABL, I understand you don't really care about what's going on in the Middle East because you're America first, but this is crazy because GHF, I googled it, they're spending $140 million just to run GHF to get aid over into Gaza, and yet. So it's been open for 6 months, and basically, so 6 times 140, that's $840 million spent to run GHF to get the food over into Gaza. And if I'm not mistaken, they said the headquarters is down in Delaware. So to me, that says our tax dollars is paying for that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of any kind of U.S. taxpayer money going overseas. We got to take care of ourselves first. If we are doing fantastic and it's not all these crazy problems with crimes, drugs, and violence, then at that point, okay, maybe we can help other people, but we got to get our own home in order first.
Exactly. And another thing I want to state out is that if you ever hear anything about somebody saying our tax dollars goes to paying for Israel's health care, that's 100% not true. That's false. I looked it up. They have mandatory universal health care. And most of their income, as an Israeli citizen, sorry for stuttering, as an Israeli citizen, they get 3 and 5% coming out of their paycheck that they pay for their own health care, and they have to sign up to whatever program is available. So no, they don't get free health care. It's just universal and mandatory, but they still partially pay for it.
I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I don't even really care about Israel or none of them. I just say, let's just focus on what we got to do over here. And like I said, once we get to the point where we're able to have everything in perfect order in the USA, then we could worry about other people and helping them.
Yeah, that's 100% true. But yeah, I'm about to make a video and exposing the lies, because it's starting to affect us, because I don't want to take up too much time, but it's starting to affect us because we're spending our tax dollars to help Palestinians get fed, and they're not even starving over there like the media is trying to claim, and that's my big issue. So I'm about to really go. I'm about to make my voice known, spread my message out there. But thanks for taking my call, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
But like you said, America first.
Right on. All right. Shout out to the callers. Keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 504 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Alien Spaceship.
Alien Spaceship, what's going on?
Hey, it's good to hear from. It's good to be here on the show, and I hope that you're doing well. So, recently I saw you on Jubilee, and I think that you did very well.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just that the other, I feel she was radical, and she wasn't trying to listen to common sense. I think you made very good points with that, with the stuff you said.
Yeah, it was really something else. She kind of controlled the narrative because she kept threatening to leave. If you back her into a corner and make a good point, she refused to answer. She would cut you off. It's like she had the advantage. So in that situation, I was just trying to make my point across and reach what I needed to reach and not try to stoop down to her level. So I think I was able to do that pretty well. But her arguments were pretty terrible, and her manner was just as bad.
Yeah, she had team arguments.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, also, yeah, I do think that it's important for DC to be, there's a lot of crime and stuff going on over there, and I think it's important for them to get that under control along with the rest of the country.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that needs to be a priority, because if the feds have the ability to do so, why not? Why would you just let crime get out of control when you have the means to fix it? It doesn't make any sense.
Right. And, it's good, in a time where, we're putting America first, and that's an important thing. And it hasn't been like that for, in quite a few years. So it's good getting back on track, where there's a lot of stuff that people have to, we have to get a lot of mess to clean up. But I do think over time, I'm optimistic that it will be, next 4 years, everything should improve, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and actually, so I've been doing good with the trials stuff. I've been researching the trials and doing my streams about the reactions to them and things like that. And I've been recently reacting to a Johnny Depp trial with my trial chat group and the other people on my channel.
Sounds good, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, and also I do think that a lot of people are waking up, I've seen, and it seems like on social media people are more vocal than they used to be, and I think that the landscape, is changing in a more positive direction, where it will be more people will start waking up, like I was saying before.
Oh, definitely. People are starting to see the reality of what's happening, and they're not following for the narratives as much anymore. So that's always encouraging to see. And I think Jubilee was part of that, because having that many black conservatives in one space wasn't a thing 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago wasn't a thing. So we're starting to see some positive, real progression in this country.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see many of them come together. And a long time ago, the black conservative movement wasn't really as big of a deal, but now it's getting more and more traction, and more people are starting to wake up because they could see, who their actual enemy is, because they're told a narrative, but it's actually the people that were telling them that really is the people that were trying to keep them, in a certain mindset for their own benefit, and they were their real enemies. Absolutely. Yeah, 20 years ago today was when Hurricane Katrina was discovered in the Bahamas.
Oh, wow. Long time ago.
Yeah. And also, actually, right now, my chat is watching the Depp trial thing. I'm like do reactions to. So I was like, while I was doing the stream, I'm on the side and I want to give you a call and so everything's been going good with you?
Everything's going beautiful, man. Can't complain at all.
Yeah. And the Hurricane Aaron went out further into the ocean away from the coast. So it got closer to the coast than I thought it would.
Yeah, I felt some of that a little bit. I felt some of the outer bands because it got real windy randomly. I'm like, okay, that's an outer band right there. I know what that is. So, but I'm glad to stay off the coast because if it would have went more inland, it definitely would have been a problem.
All right. Yeah. And okay, thank you for the update about that. My weather's been kind of warm, but it's a little bit less hot than it used to be. But it's getting it's still warm. But in the coming months, it'll get much cooler. And also, ABL, you have a good night, and chat have a good night. That's all to say for this video. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right. Shout out to Alien Spaceship. Always a great call. Shout out to him and shout out to you guys as well for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. 310, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
This is Ron from Georgia. How you doing, ABL?
I'm doing well, man. About yourself?
Oh, man, I'm doing better. I had to lay my pops down last week in California, but I'm back and all is well. Pops had a good long life, 88 years. So you can't get no better than that. Had a great time with my family and everything. And besides, I got a birthday coming tomorrow too.
That's crazy. So I'm sorry to hear about your loss, but also happy early birthday.
Yes, sir. I'll be 71. Finally kicking it over. So I got out to 70 now. I'm in 71. So it's all good. But I've been missing you guys for the past couple of weeks or so because of all the turmoil and everything going on with the family and everything. But I'm glad I'm back. It's glad to see you. I've been keeping up on you, but yeah, man, everything been going good. I'm seeing all the wonderful things that our president is doing with the Russia talks and everything. I mean, come on now. You're talking with Putin and everything. Come on, can we all just get along? Let's get the talks going and everything. I think peace is better than war. That's for sure. That's for sure. But yeah, man, I love it to see what's going on in D.C. It's ironic that you got people outside the city protesting about what's going on inside the city, and yet the people who are really affected and impacted by the crime that's going on, they're happy, and the ones that are outside the crime and who wants to continue the crime is unhappy. It's crazy. Like I said, TDS is real. We really need to have a farm for nutty people and everything like this. I mean, come on, what part of law abiding don't they get? The same thing about like you said, these YNs and everything. They apparently can stay in the house if their parents tell them to. Because Trump told them to get your butt back in the house, and they stay in the house. They're not out there jacking folks and everything. That's real, So you know what? We need to hold the parents accountable too for these youth that's out there creating chaos. The parents need to be held accountable as well as they should be held accountable, because if they go ahead and do grown people stuff, they need grown people discipline. I mean, that means lock them up and quit giving them these slap on the wrist and letting them go back out and don't do it again. No, you need to go understand that the law should come over national radio and tell them, say, look, you're going to do these crimes, you're going to do that time. We got a place for you. We need a lot of improvement. If you don't want to go ahead and talk about that guy talking about slave and everything like the slave catchers, no, we're not slave catchers. We're criminal catchers. That means illegal aliens catchers. That means people that's up there jacking folks catchers. That means stealing the car catchers. That's what we're doing. We're getting rid of the people. We want these people locked up. to bring stability back to our cities. And starts with D.C., then next, like I said, Chicago, California, everywhere where they want lawlessness to go on, we need to go in and put the law down for the United States. That's what we need in America today. And I tell you, we will start being prosperous. I tell you, and that lady that's talking about not feeling welcome because she's wearing a shirt or a hat or even stating an opinion. I experienced that too when I was out in Cali. I was in the belly of the beast and everything like that. And granted, I kept my mouth closed at some circumstances because I didn't want to start a riot and everything like that with the family and everything. But yet, afterwards, I said a couple of things and people like, you're a Republican? I said, no, I'm a conservative. And somebody used to work for me and said, oh, yeah, I said, even though he's a relative, he couldn't believe that I wrote him up and everything. I said, yeah. I said, you're here to do the job, man. I said, I can't pay no favors. I said, even though you're my family, if you're going to do wrong, I'm going to write you up. And then he got wrote up. He's still mad at me about that. But praise God, that's how it goes. That's how I roll. I swing the sword equally. It don't matter, family, friends, or foe, you're going to get it the same way. That's just how it do. But like I said, just being in the belly of the beast, but came out okay and everything. People know where I'm at. But praise God, it's all good. It's all good. I love what's going on in America. People's going to get their mind right one way or another. Trump is doing it. I don't care how deranged people get. We still have sane people out here. You keep our sanity, brother, and everybody like-minded like you keep our sanity. People, hey, we're an army of one. Starts with you, and you infect others with your opinion and with your strength. And praise God. I said, just keep praying for our nation. Keep praying for these people, these lost people. God is still on the throne, and He can get it done. Hey, man, I love you, brother, and everybody in the chat, Alien Spaceship, Sheree. Hey, you guys are awesome. I appreciate all of you guys just for being who you are. Straight out, America first. God bless you, brother. God bless you.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Okay, you too, sir. Bye-bye.
Great call. Fantastic calls tonight. Fantastic calls tonight. You guys are the best. Okay, is that a wrap for me? That might be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys for calling, for watching. You guys are the best. Y'all know it. All right, great calls. Yeah, that'll be it. Let's go ahead and end it right there. Thank you guys for calling. Thank you guys. Hey, if you enjoyed what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I'll be back live on Tuesday on Instagram. Remember, I'm live Tuesdays on Instagram at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to, I don't know, who knows on, it could be an hour, it could be longer, but Instagram, always live on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Instagram, I'm live on Wednesday, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern to right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to try to put out videos every day on the channel, pre-recorded, shorts from the live stream, regular shorts, long form if I got a long form video to do. And of course, I'm on different platforms. YouTube, of course, main platform, but I'm also on Facebook. Shout out to the Facebook community, which is growing exponentially. I'm talking about, I just did thank you for 100,000 follower video on Facebook like 2 weeks ago, maybe. And now almost at 120,000. So it's rapidly growing like the way my YouTube was growing back in 2016. So shout out to the Facebook community. Shout out to the Instagram community. Shout out to TikTok. Y'all, I don't know about y'all yet. I'm going to kind of like hold on y'all, but YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok to a lower extent. I'm everywhere. You are. Catch me there. And this is also an audio streaming podcast. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Spotify, Google Play, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. All right, so that'll be a wrap for me. Thank you guys again for being here. Do I have any more super chats to read? I'll read those and then wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Thank you to the chat for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you do. I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the controls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. Thank you to PH for saying Priscilla from Houston wants to say thank you for listening to me tonight. First time caller. Love you, ABL. Well, thank you to you, Priscilla from Houston. I appreciate you for calling on in. Y'all know I couldn't do the show without you at all. Okay, I think I got everybody, got all the calls. You guys are great. Again, Tuesday, Instagram, Wednesday, Saturday, live, YouTube, every day, pre-recorded videos, whether they be short form, long form, or whatever. And also, thank you to everybody who is following me now from Jubilee or from a recent video. However you got to me, being for a long time, short time, thank you for that. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.